Thank you. Calm down. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the 40th episode of the Jams and Cocktails Live Podcast. Yes, the big 4-0. Wow, that's right. My name is Brad Brock, and I'll be your host this evening. Joining me in the legendary JNC Lounge is the one and only Jordan Taylor.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
And producer Derek has joined us again once
What's
again.
up, guys?
Ooh, surprise.
Welcome.
And our very special guest this evening, my friend, singer-songwriter Jason Ambrose is in the house.
Hey, how we all doing out there?
All right. Well, as always, we'll get to know Jason. We'll also get our midweek motivation from leadership coach Tony Espinosa. We'll play an interactive round of Name That Tune. We'll take a peek inside the JORDY files and get to hear some jams from Jason Ambrose. So thank you so much for tuning in live with us on Facebook and YouTube. And a thank you to those of you catching the rerun on YouTube or listening in wherever you get your podcasts, like iHeartRadio or Spotify. So wherever you're listening, please give us a like, share, follow, and subscribe. Very important for us. We appreciate that. We are watching the comments and the chats tonight, as always, so join our conversation. What do you say, you guys? We kick off the evening with our shot of the week.
Shall we? Let's.
Jordan is feverishly mixing this shot.
It's a talented mixologist right there.
She's definitely hustling. Well, tonight's shot of the week is inspired by hanging with our friend Johnny Ringo from the Code Rum Company over the last couple of days at various tiki bars around the Treasure Coast. This is called the Code Tiki Torch. So this is Code Red, which is their cinnamon flavored rum, Malibu coconut rum, and pineapple juice. So we did not do a pre-test of this shot, so not even sure what this is going to be or how it's going to be. But if it's good, I'm taking full credit for it.
It sounds rummy.
It sounds rummy. It sounds a little bit spicy, maybe like an island Christmas or something. Jordan's over there. So this is going out to all our Code Rum drinkers, and if you haven't tried Code Rum, they are not only a sponsor of our show, but and a very good product, but good friends of ours as well. So, oh yeah, I love getting Johnny Ringo just chimed in. He said, "Can I come just for the shot each week?" Absolutely, always welcome, Johnny Ringo. All right, well, cheers, you guys. Let's see how this goes. Code Rum Tiki Torch.
Bottoms up.
Tonight
Oh, boy.
it's bottoms up.
That is actually really nice.
It's very
Oh.
refreshing.
That's smooth.
That is
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's not terrible.
right. That's
That's great.
What do you think
That's
over there,
not
Jill?
terrible.
Not.
Jill, how you feeling?
Oh,
Jill and Alexis are hanging out in the lounge side of the studio tonight, hanging in for the show. And she's it's a little cinnamony. It's spicy. It's spicy.
Spicy. Very saucy.
woohoo.
Oh boy.
Oh, I just got a taste of it.
It's one of those
It's the gift that
shots-
keeps on giving.
Honestly, I feel like there is like an after effect because
Yeah.
I'm getting it too as well.
It's just tingle that comes along.
Right? Well, I guess we'll jump straight into it, you guys. Building his career over nearly the last 3 decades. He's performed thousands of shows around the country, opening for massive country artists. Now, he has spent years writing, recording, and touring out in Nashville. And out of Nashville. Now he resides here on the Treasure Coast to share his talents with us, performing locally with his band Rough Shot and in his solo show. You guys check out Jason Ambrose.
We're burning the building down. Burn the building down. You can see the smoke come rolling down like a giant mushroom cloud. Burn the building down. Burn the building
up, brother?
Oh man, welcome to the legendary JNC Lounge. It's good to have you here, my friend.
It's great to be here. It's an honor, man. I appreciate it.
Well, glad to finally have you here. You know, I was like dreams of having my favorite South Florida performers, and now you're here on the Treasure Coast with us, and have you so close and nearby.
Yeah, man. I'm proud to call it home. I love it here.
So good. So good. Well, man, I guess we'll jump right into it. And as I do with a lot of my first time guests, let's go all the way back to the beginning. So what set you down your musical road?
My older brother was my youngest brother to me is 8 years older than me. And then my older brother's a couple years older than him. So they were like teenagers when I was just kicking around, you know?
So were you the proverbial oops baby?
I don't know if I was or not. That story has never made it back to me, but I do know that my brothers were cool though. Like, cause you know, teenage boys are pretty like, they don't want to be babysitters. They don't want to be nurturers or anything like that. But my brothers always like, wherever they went, they took me along. They didn't care. Maybe it was to pull pranks on me, use me to do things silly. Like
sounds pretty standard.
But they loved having me around. I loved being around them. My older brother, he played in a band, and like I would follow him around, like, and I could listen to that band play in the house or in a room in someone's house like all day long, and I just knew then I wanted to play guitar or do something in music. You know, I didn't know what, but
Right.
I just like because I love the drums, I love the bass, I love the guitar. I said, hey, maybe I'll be a jack of half of these trades and master of none of them. You know, but. Yeah, so that's where it started for me. And then I really didn't start to learn how to play. I had a guitar from 8 years old. My brother gave me my first guitar, and then my mom got me another one and just had him, held him, bang around on him. But I didn't really start learning until I was probably about 12 or 13. And then about 15, I was trying to like really get good and put together a little band. But, you know, nobody at 15 was either interested in music. Growing up in South Florida, it's a lot of, you know, rap music, dance music.
Right.
You know, hard to find somebody who wants to play an instrument, you know. And then I found somebody, but he wasn't really getting it just that yet. And we had walked to this music store, and there was a sign saying teen country band looking for 18 and under musicians. We need guitar, we need this or whatever. And I was like, my friend was with me that day, and he said, you need to talk to him. That guy has a band, which happened to be Shane Duncan at the time.
No kidding.
And we became best friends and been together. You know, we played together many years and everything. But yeah, I answered an ad in a local music store. Knew 3 chords. He knew 4. You know, he was a much better drummer than he was a guitar player at the time.
At the time, right?
At the time, yeah. He started off playing drums. Like, he used to be that kid prodigy that would show up to band gigs and like play like Wipeout and stuff and just tear it up.
Right,
you know?
right.
And everybody loved him. And then, he wanted to be up front. So he learned guitar, learned vocals. And then we kind of learned together. Like, we knew the basic G, C, and D chords. Like, I remember it was funny when we first started learning, it would be like Alan Jackson or Travis Tritt at the time songs. And if they had an A minor or something, they just weren't in it when we played. It was G, C, and D no matter what. Like, there's a minor chord, we left it out, you know.
Yeah.
But we just skipped over it because we
all
had
the hard chords, you know, like
we hadn't learned them yet, and damned if that was going to stop us from playing the songs, you know. So, but yeah, I mean, it got up to about that time, and then the rest is history. I mean, everybody started getting better, honing their craft, doing different things. And it's funny because I never wanted to be a country artist. I was raised kind of around country people, but my influences was like Guns N' Roses, Metallica,
right.
And my only goal of answering this ad, I was just telling this story the other day. It's so funny, is because I just wanted to play in a band so bad. I didn't care what it was.
Right.
You know, and I would laugh it off. And then I really fell in love with it. And I was like, wow, this might be who I am. And it took this situation to open my eyes to that. You know what I mean?
Well, that's so crazy because I met you when you were performing with Shane. So you came straight out of the gate
right
playing music with Shane Duncan, which is wild, man.
Yeah.
So as a lefty,
right.
Did you start off with a left-handed guitar? Or did you start off on a right-handed guitar like
No,
every other lefty guitar on earth?
It's funny, when I started taking lessons, the guitar teacher says, you got to learn right-handed. You're going to suffer if you try to stay left-handed. Now that you don't know anything, so I can teach you right-handed. And he would try, And the minute he'd leave, I would spend 30 minutes restringing the guitar and relearning everything he taught me left-handed.
Oh, that's
And then
the
when
worst.
he was coming back, I'd restring the guitar, and he's like, "Dude, you're not getting any better." But I really was, just the other way, because he
Right,
was,
right.
you know. And but yeah, and I would buy right-handed guitars and string them upside down, kind of like a Jimi Hendrix thing. And then my mom bought me my first left-handed. It was acoustic guitar, but I got a left-handed Fender acoustic. And then it was actually Shane's dad helped me get my first real good electric guitar. It was a left-handed Stratocaster, which I still have to this day. I've had it since I'm 15.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
Wow.
tobacco
Amazing.
burst Stratocaster, and you know, like he paid for it and made me pay him back or whatever. You know,
Right,
but,
right. Oh, that's nice.
and yeah.
It sounds like my Telecaster I've had since I was around the same age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then once I got that, it was like all over. Like you know, it's just
That's
going through
amazing.
emotions. You know?
Well, so if that's the beginning with Shane, did you guys strike out as Buck Wild, or were you
No.
something else before it kind of grew into that?
our he's probably gonna kill me for this one, but
Are you listening, Shane?
yeah, but our first band name was High Country.
Nice.
That was the first band. And then it became Shane Duncan and High Country. And then we took a break from each other for a while, and Shane did Shane Duncan in the Hot Walker Band, which is very popular. You know, he just the powers that be felt he was needed to be in front of more seasoned musicians, and Hot Walker Band at the time was a very seasoned, well-known band that were just mediocre in the vocals department. So they kind of put Shane in the front and just had this powerhouse band behind him, and that worked out really well for him for a long time.
Definitely a
Yeah.
front man, a
Yeah.
showman.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
always has been, so long as I've known him.
Exactly. And so I did some shows with I joined a band called Common Ground, which was again a bunch of young guys, and then I that kind of did its thing, ran its course or whatever, and I went and played for another band called Southern Guns as a guitar player, male vocalist, because they had a female vocalist.
Nice.
So we were gonna try to like monopolize. Well, I'll do the male songs, she does the female songs. We could do some duets.
Right.
throughout
It's
the
like
show,
it's a
whatever.
good thing to do.
And things never worked out. I joined another band called Quick Draw, which is another good seasoned players of around town, and that was kind of like my situation where Shane fronted the Hot Walker thing. These guys kind of put me in front, and they were very seasoned veteran players, and that kind of groomed me for being frontman status. And then there was a time frame where something happened with Shane's band. It was this one gig, I'll never forget it. It was a gig down in the Keys. I don't remember the name of the venue, but I remember the situation where the gig was offered by an agent to Shane. It was offered by an agent to me. For whatever reason, his bandmates thought it wasn't worth it, or his band put up a lot of resistance to go do the gig, and then they gave it to me. And at the last minute, my bandmates put up a lot of resistance and didn't want to go do this gig. So, me and Shane being still best friends since we were teenagers, we learned how to play together. We were talking to like, why don't we do this gig? Me and you, I know we can get that drummer that you played with, and I got this keyboard player that I played with, and we'll do this one gig just so we can do this gig.
Right. Who wants to turn down a gig down in the Keys, really?
Right. And we wanted to, both of us as frontmen wanted to spite our bandmates at this point. It's like, hey, where do you
Right.
get off turning down a gig? This is not what we were about,
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so funny. Even on the way down there, we came up with the name Buck Wild. It was just like one of those things. We just kind of just because the agent kept saying, we need a name. Just tell him Buck Wild. We'll figure something better out later. And later never came. And we both ended up dropping our bands that we had at the time and just sticking with that band that we played with at that one show. And that Buck Wild ran 9 years after that.
That's crazy.
And,
man.
got an independent record deal, made a CD, toured the country, you know what I mean? Opened for some pretty good artists, Mark Wills, artists of that day. There was Mark Wills, Terry Clark. Did shows with festivals that had Keith Urban and Tim McGraw on the bill. I'm just great stuff. Warren Brothers.
Yeah. I played a show with the Warren Brothers once.
Those are
once
the
upon a
coolest
time.
guys
Super
ever.
cool dudes. I don't know whatever happened to them, but
They're just
they
more
were
on the
very,
songwriting
very cool.
side now. They're
Good
just
for them.
Yeah, and here's the cool thing about Tim McGraw. A lot of people don't know, those guys were tight with him. and they wrote some of his songs and stuff like that. And Tim McGraw did that. You know, he was on this like I'm gonna be unique thing for this 1 year or two that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like one of the first artists to let his touring band, the Dancehall Doctors, record an album, record the songs that they're gonna play, which, you know, had great songs on it. Red Ragtop, their cover of that Elton John song, Tiny Dancer, all that stuff was on that album. And the guitar player Darren Smith produced that album for him, so he got producing rights. You know, he got to play on the album. So, you know, he set his band up basically with that, which I thought was pretty cool.
That is pretty neat.
But he also, you know, took the Warren Brothers, who's, you know, their career as far as artists went, they kind of got pulled and just went back down to songwriting. He took them on the road with them too, and he would do this VIP thing where it would be him, Tim McGraw, and the Warren Brothers playing an acoustic set for like 45 minutes to this VIP room before he went and did his 2-hour show for the auditorium. You know what I mean?
Like a workhorse, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So, and that was pretty cool. And again, because of my involvement with Darren and because of my involvement with the rest of the Dancehall Doctors and doing some recordings with them, I was able to be a part of some of those things and just be around it. You know, it was awesome. It was awesome to watch. Awesome to see. I got some good backstage tours, under the stage tours, and like to see what that kind of life is like, and it's just crazy.
It's super cool. Well, yeah. So moving back to when you, as Buck Wild, cut your record, Darren Smith, the guitar player for Tim McGraw, was very much involved with that process. Tell me about working with him and that whole process, cutting that record. Which by the way, you guys heard a little bit of if you were tuning in during the countdown.
Darren is just an amazing individual. He's a great guitar player, a great band. I mean, he was with Tim from, I'd say he put 20, 25 years with Tim. He was with Tim from clubs to arenas.
Nice.
You know, and he's a songwriter as well. The title track of that Buck Wild album, So Far So Good, was Darren's song. He wrote it with some other people, but he's on that song. He really put our CD together as far as he was in the booth every day. He you know, helped us work out our harmony parts. He selected the musicians that played on it. He found Jim Lightman, who I told you earlier worked with Dixie Chicks, Taylor Swift, all that, you know, to do the engineering portion of it. I mean, we really got for some nobodies who at that time didn't even have the independent record deal, had some pretty good heavy hitters on our CD and working on it from every aspect, from production to engineering to songwriting to the studio musicians. It was just unbelievable, you know.
Yeah. Whenever you find somebody that is so seasoned in that way and connected in that way, like, I imagine it's a pretty surreal experience.
It was
to just know what comes behind that, you know.
Yeah, yes, sir. I mean, it was amazing because also Darren and Tim, being buddies for so long, they owned a bar called the Broken Spoke on the outskirts of Nashville, and the band used to play there, and it was the coolest thing was when we used to go back and forth to record from Florida to there, they would hold like a jam night. It wasn't really a jam night, but I guess it was like a rock star karaoke thing, but it was Tim McGraw's whole band, the Dancehall Doctors, would be there on like a Tuesday night or whatever, and anybody that wanted to can get up and sing with them.
That's amazing.
And I know it aggravated Darren, but I was a cover band for most of my life. I did Tim McGraw songs, and I was like, God, I just want to do 2 Tim McGraw songs with his actual band on stage. You know what I mean? Just so I could see what Tim hears in his ear. Like I just wanted to feel what it felt like to play with the guys that played every night. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I did something like Just to See You Smile and something like that, and it was just like, you wouldn't believe the chills I got from just hearing the music played like to perfection with that, you know. And he actually, again, this is another credit to Darren, was he let us anytime we come to Nashville and we needed to hold a showcase to try to get labels to come out and stuff, he would let us use his bar to do it at.
Nice.
You know, of course, I mean, it's good for them because people will buy drinks or whatever. But,
right.
But at the same time, I mean, you have to pay for stuff like that. And he was like, no, just do it here. It's an off night. You pick a night where I don't have anybody scheduled, and sure, it's for free. Don't worry about it.
That's clutch in that town for sure.
I actually still have an amp that Darren gave me. Like it was a 410 PV Classic 50 410.
Oh my God.
And my amp had blown up right before the showcase. He goes, here, take this one. It was on my, we did Place in the Sun tour. This was on the road with Tim, but you can have it.
you can have this.
Yeah.
I'm done with this. You may have it now. That's awesome. That's so cool. So if you ever want to give that amp away, You
I
just
can't even get rid of
let
it.
a brother know.
Truth be told, it doesn't work right now. It needs to be repaired, and I just can't bring myself to get rid of it, and I can't afford to repair it, so it's just like hanging. You know what I mean? Because
there are things in this room that need repair, but I'm like,
it's just so sentimental to me, so I just can't ever get rid of it. I've toted it around from Nashville to here to wherever else I've lived. You know,
it's so awesome. So I met you originally with the Buck Wild Band, you and Shane at the same time, and all the guys in the band. I met you originally at the Uncle Mick's
right
Bar
on.
and Grill in Jupiter, and I was wet behind the ears. That was a little conversation we had earlier.
this is the phrase of the show.
Yes. Would you care to elaborate what that means or
Oh,
where it comes from?
Would you care? So we'll take a sidebar. So yeah, we did have a conversation about what I made that comment, and I realized quickly how ignorant I am because I say it knowing what I meant by it, wet behind the ears, and we were like, what does that actually mean? Where did that come from? So Jordan actually did the research.
And how many out there have never heard that saying before?
Yeah.
You had never heard that?
No, I don't. Maybe I'm the only one.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
Jordan
You were wet behind the ears
Jordan-
about wet
that's
behind
what
the
he
ears.
said. He was like, "You might be wet behind the ears because you haven't heard that."
So what does it mean? What did we find out?
Please hold. I'm just going to read.
You don't have it memorized?
No, well, I
Oh
want to be
my
very
gosh.
precise because I don't want to be wet behind the ears about wet behind the ears.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. It is the drying of amniotic fluid on a baby after birth, specifically a newborn farm animal, specifically, because behind the ears dry last, and a mother licks to dry their baby, and behind the ears always gets missed, so it's still wet, and I guess that's where it comes from. So you're welcome.
So we have farmers. We have farmers to thank for that.
Yes,
That
for that
lovely
lovely
term.
phrase
So-
of wisdom.
Well, thank you, Jordan. You get an
You're
applause for that.
Welcome.
Jordan is our tome of knowledge.
Yes, thank you,
here on the
Google
show.
Brain.
Thank you, Google Brain. So back to
Anyway.
Uncle Mick's when I was wet behind the ears. Back in the Brad Brock and the Renegades days. The first
remember.
time I saw Buck Wild perform, and we were talking about this off the camera earlier, but I was completely blown away. The musicianship, the showmanship, and let me tell you, my stepdad at the time was the manager of our band.
Right.
And he literally, that whole ride back to Port St. Lucie from Uncle Mick's, all he did was talk about how I needed to be taking notes from you guys. And
Jeez.
that's a show band. That's a show. He doesn't sound like that, but it's still funny.
Not at all.
But he did, and he was like, and I think he may have even filmed you guys the next time we saw you out there, and we had to watch it like football tape, like,
Right.
and but to my point, you guys were next level, superior caliber group during that time,
Right.
and to then see you at Uncle Mick's, not to knock Uncle Mick's,
Right.
but you were by far the most entertaining group that ever rolled through that place. And it was a pleasure to meet you and remain friends for all this time, because that was going back quite a bit of time ago.
Yeah, man. I mean, those were good times, and it's funny because I was just telling Jill this story was because we work with some young bands too. Like nowadays, it's kind of our thing, and helping young musicians and stuff. And I was just talking about, I was explaining to Jill how we got that way with Shane's dad. Really, I mean, Shane's dad was a big Elvis fan, so obviously the Colonel fan, like
Right.
tell you like it is kind of guy. And we rehearsed in his house. He had a pool table room. There's drums, PA, the whole nine. And we were there every day after school, every day. And then we had this little local gig, which is like the Pines Par 3. It was called the Caddy Shack at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe held 80 people. And because this teenage band was there, we would get like 130 people in there. And that guy was happy to pay us $200 to split. But
I'm sure he was.
But we were happy at that time to get it. But it kind of, we started getting a little cocky, because, people see kids playing. It don't matter if it's good or it's horrible. They're screaming and cheering and loving you.
Right.
And teenage boys with a lot of, ego running through their veins were like, we'd be at the house practicing, like, we're the best. We're going to kill this. And we'd call them in the room and tell them, hey, listen to this song we learned now. Wait till they hear this weekend, and he'd be like, that sucked. And I'd be like,
it's like you need that voice of reason.
right.
sometimes.
But I'd be devastated. And he'd be like, no, you guys ain't got this shit yet. You know, you don't have it yet. And me and Shane would look at each other, we get frustrated and like, whatever. And we couldn't understand why he said it. So like, you know, it would get to the point where one day we just had it out. Like, why do you keep telling us like when we know we're awesome and people are telling us that we're awesome and like you're just beating us down? Like, what are you trying to do? Like, and he goes, you honestly think people are going to come up to you that don't know you and tell you suck? He says, those people are going to look you dead in your eye and tell you how awesome you are and get in their car and go, wow, that band was horrible.
Yeah, at least not back then. Today,
Right.
they'll throw tomatoes at
today's
you. Like,
everybody's got too much of a voice. But,
Yeah.
but back, it was true. Like, I don't have the heart to go tell somebody how horrible they are. To this day, I'd be like, yeah, man, you sound great. And I'd be like,
Right.
I'm never coming back here again. And that really resonated with me. So now I think that resonated with Shane and everybody in the band. And what happened was like, we just like, no, we don't have. We started really analyzing things and analyzing parts and vocal parts. And we probably did 2 rehearsals of full band and probably 3 rehearsals a week of vocal harmonies. It was just an acoustic and just vocals till we nailed those vocals right. And if one person was off, we ran it again. And one person was off, we ran it again. As if we were getting paid to do it, but we weren't.
Right.
But that's how we treated it. Like it was like that serious. Because we never wanted to hear the word "you suck" again, you know what I mean?
Especially from that kind of figure that you know, it wasn't like some Joe Schmo telling you. It was
but it was
Shane's
like
dad.
as horrible as that sounds to a teenage boy, like you're 15 and someone just looks you in the face and tells you suck. You're not what you think you are. Like I needed that though.
Mm-hmm.
I personally needed that. I know the rest of the band needed it too, but I can't speak for them. But I needed that because I was getting cocky, egotistical. I had long hair. I was young. I had like grown women falling all over me. Like, you know, so like, it was like
Made in the shade.
what do you mean I suck? I got all this going on. And I'm like, when I would listen back to stuff, I'm like, yeah, that's not so good. You know, I need to tighten that up.
I'll tell you what, like that was clearly good advice and you guys taking it to heart that way, because all of that was the culmination of what I got to see when I first met you. And
by the time you saw us, we had our asses whipped quite a bit, like about how not good we were,
Right.
You know.
So after you guys cut the record, you did a bunch of touring. We talked about some of the artists that you guys worked with. After that time or during that time, you spent quite a bit of time in Nashville over the next few years after that was all going on. So tell me about your experience in the Nashville grind. It's such a unique experience to everybody that I talk to.
It is, and it's probably unique to us. And I'll probably tell you a story you're going to be baffled by, right? Because I was in Nashville for 3 years. You know, we got the record deal while we were still living in Florida, and so that was it. It was sell everything, move to Nashville. I mean, our families moved everything to Nashville while we were on the road. We went on the road in Florida and came home in Nashville. I didn't even see my house until I called home and said, I'm about 150 miles outside of Nashville. Can I have the address? Where do I live?
Right.
And it was like that. You know, I left Florida, my house, and came home to my house in Nashville.
Awesome.
But then we got right to work. We did, you know, the record label that we had also had rehearsal studios. They had their own like recording studio. So it was pretty cool. The guy's name was Rick Webb, who was the owner of the label and also a producer. Mm-hmm. He gave me a key to the studio, and that was in the United Artists Towers, which unfortunately they just ripped down because it was so old. But I mean, I got in that studio, being able to go and come and go whenever I wanted to. And there was times I went there just to sit there and watch other people work. I mean, I would literally just it's
inspiring.
I'm in Nashville now. Like, this is what I dreamed about from Florida, and I'm here now, and I'm going to sponge it up, you know? Mm-hmm. And we're working on a CD that never came about. But one of the songs did come about, and it was funny because Montgomery Gentry cut it. I cut it first. They cut it after me because they had more clout, of course. And they also had, more ties. There was a song called Get Her Done, and it was for one of Larry the Cable Guy's first movies.
Right. And I remember that was kind of like his niche thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so my record label and the producer was like, I want you guys to record this. We got to get it out fast because I want to pitch it to him so maybe you can, because a lot of artists got their start doing soundtrack stuff and things like that nature. So like if we can get some kind of notoriety and whatever. So they gave me the song, and we did record it. And oddly enough, I was able to help choose musicians that got to play on that recording. And I said, I want Brett Mason playing guitar on it. I said, that's who I want. Only because, and a lot of people out there in YouTube land or Facebook land don't know who Brett Mason is. If you ever heard a country song and you love the guitar riff, it's Brett Mason that's playing it. He's the studio guitar musician. And I just wanted him on it just so I can hang out with him. I got to watch him play a song I was about to sing on. I got to talk shop with him. I got my picture taken with him a couple times. I was like, so good. I was fanboying it the whole time. But I can't believe that he pulled it off too. Because I mean, Brett Mason's one of those guys that he gets paid pretty healthy for a session. I mean, he works for Tim McGraw, Alan Jackson, Toby Keith. I
was gonna say, the most notoriously
you got to be in the top 5 to have him on your records.
Yeah, Brett Mason and all those signature Alan Jackson licks.
Yeah. I mean, Chattahoochee, that was him.
Yeah, too fun. So you lived up there. You did some writing, recording, and all of that. And then eventually you made your way back down to Florida.
It was unfortunate.
We all retire back to Florida, so.
I felt like a New Yorker there for a minute. But I was legitimately born and raised in Florida, Hollywood, Florida. That's where I was born.
Hey, man, natives we're few and far between these days.
Yeah. But, the record label kind of had some legal issues. They were partners, and then they kind of went belly up. They weren't doing much with me or for me. And I guess with the original members of Buck Wild kind of going different ways and me trying to just keep patching it up.
Right.
It just wasn't working for me. I didn't have the drive to go out there and pound the pavement. Now there's people that were involved with us. Our merchandise guy, Johnny, he was out there hitting the bars every day, and he's gone on tour selling T-shirts for all kinds of major artists. He's out in Nashville right now.
No kidding.
So and that was thanks to us, but he had the drive that I didn't have at the time.
All right, turn into an empire.
He would call me on the phone like, you got to come hang out down here and just drink beer, and you never know who you're going to sit next to. And I'm like, I just can't do it. I don't have it. And what I was getting at, why it was so funny, because my Nashville story being unique, I played maybe twice in Nashville in the 3 years that I lived there. I was always on the road. And when I came home, I just wanted to go hang out or relax. I never played. I got through some other friends. My friend Terry Jo Stampley, who is Joe Stampley's daughter from the Joe and Mo Bandy thing.
Oh, yeah.
She was really tight with the owners of Tootsie's, and I just wanted to play Tootsie's once in my life. So she got us up in the back room, the backstage. Now they're like 3 levels. They got Honky Tonk University there.
It's wild thing now.
But they only had the front stage and the backstage, and she pulled some strings and got Buck Wild on that backstage, and that was it for me. That's the only time I wanted to play there, to be honest. Because when I went there to study, when I hit Broadway, it was like I'm going up and down these bars, and I'm watching every player. I'm seeing who's sitting in the room. I'm watching how everybody performs. Again, just it took the thing with Shane's dad clicked, and it's just like that followed me through my whole career. Is like I got to learn and
classes
study.
In session.
Always be a student of the game per se, like the wrestling homage to Triple H. Student of the game.
Well, that's great. So you came back and you kind of alluded to the story a little bit off camera. You came back and Shane had been filling in for the Rough Shot band, who was in so few words was kind of remnants of the Brad Brock and the Renegades band.
Right, correct.
Because I had gone off to go to school, and so there was Dan Gentile, who's one of my best friends on earth and my oldest friend on the planet. Paul Kaysen, who was the bass player, and then it was just kind of like filtering players throughout. And I guess Shane was getting busy with his band, and so he referred you to Paul.
Yeah,
and Rough Shot is just kind of history at that point. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Paul, Paul had seen us play before because we needed a fill-in bass player at a time, and so Paul came and checked us out at OC's down in Cutler Ridge, Old Cutler Oyster House.
Oh my God! Yeah.
So, and then he had seen us at Davy Junction as well. And the thing about that was like, so he knew of me, knew who I was, how I sounded. But yeah, it was crazy because Paul called me up and said, hey, don't worry about finding work. The minute you get here, you're in the band. You don't have to audition. You don't have to worry about nothing.
Right.
That really stuck with me. And then, when we figured out that the country just wasn't a big market down in South Florida like it used to be back in the Buck Wild days and the Renegades. There was rooms that you can do 4 or 5 nights a week in one room. You set up on a Tuesday, you're there till Saturday.
And we would. It was great.
It was nice, and but now it's like one night here, one night there, and it's country only once a month. And so I joined Rough Shot right away and did the country shows that we had. I put together a couple trio rock bands that I'd auditioned for and like found just to fill my calendar up. My goal was like, I came back, I didn't have a dime in my pocket, I didn't have a job. So I was searching for a day job, but I knew what I can do with a guitar and a microphone. So I was like, I just put together some trio rock stuff, and I was having fun because now I don't have to be strictly country anymore.
Right.
And because it's more of a hobby and extra money at this point. And then I got to thinking that I didn't like the rock vibe and some of the musicians in the rock world.
Right.
I have no qualms about saying it on this podcast.
Sure.
There's a lot of like egos and drug issues and just drama issues in general. I loved playing with Rough Shot, but we can only do 2 shows a month. I loved everybody in that band.
Right.
But I had to fill my calendar and make money. So at the point, I just finally, me and Paul went to dinner. I forget how it came about. And I said, dude, we got to start learning some classic rock, some Southern rock, maybe even some new poppier music.
Yeah, kind of expand your repertoire.
I said,
genres.
I said, I promise you, if you do this with me, our calendar is going to quadruple. And then I don't have to go play with these other things that I don't want to be doing, that I'm just doing for money.
Right.
And he said, sure, man, because Paul, Paul as well as I do. He's a very generous guy, very like eager to do something cool. He wants to be on top, So it was like, that's what we did. We sat down and started revamping the band, and we had to make some changes. There were people in the band that didn't want to do that. We had a drummer that didn't want to, he was stuck on the classic country stuff. And then we got a new drummer. That drummer per se could also play guitar. So we moved him to guitar, and he just didn't want to move with the progression. He was set in his ways. So we got another guitar player, and that worked out well. We had a guy out of Palm Beach. His name was Kenny V. He's still a solo artist, still does some band stuff. And he's a very talented guy. But he likes his solo stuff. So he played with us for like 4 years, but it just started to be more like he wanted to do more solo gigs.
Right, do his own thing, yeah.
Great dude, so we're like, okay, that's cool. And I came across Mike, who is our keyboard player now. And I always said, again, not to be arrogant, but I'm like, I can play guitar. I can play rhythm, I can play lead. So if you have to have a fourth member in this world that doesn't pay a lot of money to begin with, I'd like it to be something different than a guitar. Right, exactly. Yeah, so I just said I'd love to have a keyboard player because it opens it up so much, because keyboards can do synth stuff that make different sounds. They don't just make piano sounds and organs now. Right. They got horns, they got brass, they
especially breaking into
into
that kind of pop world. Yeah.
I mean, Rough Shot to this day does everything from Garth Brooks to Bruno Mars to Prince to Lit to Three Doors Down. Yeah, I mean, could you imagine like ever thinking that Rough Shot was doing like Three Doors Down and Van Halen? We do Van Halen some nights and things like that. Metallica,
so fun.
And we'll still do Garth Brooks and Florida Georgia Line and Darius Rucker and all that stuff in between.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I feel like some other bands that are in the same vein as you guys, like 56 Ace. They are a similar breed.
Right. I've heard great things. I think I've seen them once, and I remember being really impressed with them. Like, I don't know any of the guys personally, but I think I was it was a benefit or some multi-band venue. Mm-hmm. And I actually, because that's the only way I get to hear other bands pretty much, unless I'm at the Sneaky Tiki on Sunday watching Brad Brock. But But yeah, so I do remember digging them. And I remember thinking like, yeah, they get it. This is what you got to do.
Yeah,
You
and
know
they're the
what I mean?
same, same kind of deal. Like they're a country pop crossover band, and definitely a good idea that you had there. Just got a couple more questions here, and then we're gonna get a little jam in.
Yeah, right on.
So your drummer Bryce,
Right.
still performing with you guys, right?
Yeah.
So when Bryce first started the very first time I started coming out to see you guys to support Paul and you and drummer Dan,
Right.
Gentile at the time, who was jamming with you guys. Bryce was very young and was just sitting in on a couple songs.
He was 11 when he first came
It's
around.
unbelievable. So, I mean, I guess tell me about your experience watching him not only grow as a musician, but as a person, as a human being.
Man, I tell you, it's kind of been a privilege because you go back, you know me from back when I was Bryce, so
Right.
it's like I never thought I would get that opportunity to be the guy that those guys were to me. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
And I always wanted to do it better. I always wanted it, and I always wanted to do it better. And I think Bryce would tell you that if you asked him. But yeah, I immediately, I didn't know how it was going to go. It was a little iffy at first, but he always proved himself every day. Every time I think, God, it's like he needs to dial this in. He would dial this in and then some. He would dial that in.
Take it to the
plus
next
10.
level, yeah.
And then that's how it started with him. He started to come around and do 3 or 4 songs, and then 4 songs turned into 6, and then 6 songs turned into a whole set. Mm-hmm. And this was the time that we had the other drummer who also played guitar. And then we had another guitar player that was leaving the band anyway. So we said, hey, this kid's learned all the songs, so we're going to put you on guitar.
Molded and ready to go.
Yeah, so we're going to put you on guitar. The guy also sang, so I said, you can be a second vocal and, give me some relief sometimes. And we're going to put him on drums. And again, the kid, he's a prodigy. I mean, and I don't want to say that anybody can learn stuff because there's a difference between learning and just having God-given ability.
Right.
You know what I mean? And Bryce will tell you that. Bryce has done, he's wanted to play bass. He's wanted to play, like, he did saxophone for a little while, but it always came back to the drums because that's just like he does it in his sleep. It's his natural ability. And he's also, very passionate about sound, audio recording, live mixing. And he's a phenomenal sound person. Like, I mean, he's every bit as good, if not maybe even a little better at the mixing board that he is behind the drums. And he's phenomenal behind the drums. So,
unbelievable. That's awesome, man.
And I've never played with anybody on drums as good since Mark Kirkendall, which was the Buck Wild drummer.
Right.
I mean, that guy,
big shoes to fill.
Yeah. I mean, it actually gave me that oomph, like you hit a lull and then you need an oomph.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely gave me that oomph again.
Breath of fresh air.
Yeah,
so to say.
Because he's a heavy hitter. I don't know. Most people don't pay attention to the drums as much, but for me, if the drums I need a heavy hitter, somebody that's energetic, and I need that rhythm section just to be solid, so I can lay down what I do, the lead guitar and the lead vocals and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't play with I hate. Politically correct. I want to say limp wrist drummer, but I won't say that, even though I just did. I can't play with a soft hitter drummer. Like,
right.
I have to have somebody that's how the drums come across is how I perform. So
right.
if
there's no energy,
if the drums are phoning it in, I'm phoning it in. But if the drums are large and in charge, then I'm large and in charge, and that's how it is.
It's awesome. I mean, I remember seeing him in the beginning, and then we've seen him even recently in the last couple of years, and I was like, man, this kid is
But he's a phenomenal person too. Like I said, he's just very very articulate, very educated. Just a good man that he's become. Like awesome. He's doing he studied neuroscience in college. He graduated. He's basically, I think he refers to his job as a chiropractor of the brain. He's doing like, I don't want to misquote it, but I believe it's counseling for like addicts and stuff right now. And he's really advancing with that job. Like they're looking to make him management or move him around to different places or whatever have you.
Wow. That's so cool. Good for him. And we're gonna have to get the whole band in here one of these days.
It'll be fun
and
'cause
catch up because that it would be
between the 4 guys. There's 4 crazy different stories.
It's amazing. Well, last question in this segment of the interview. Are you still writing? Is there perhaps a Jason Ambrose or Rough Shot album on the horizon?
You know, I've been itching to write, and it comes and goes. And I'm sure you get these feelings sometimes too.
All
Like
the
someday,
time.
sometimes they come and go as fast as they come, and sometimes they just linger around. Like I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. But I recently been thinking about it again a little more because my life was it took a little roller coaster win in the last couple of years, but now it's leveled out and it's really freaking amazing. So I'm really in a good place mentally, physically.
I can relate absolutely
emotionally with my family and everything I got going on. So I want to say I want to get back into writing a little bit. I think I got a little bit to talk about, a little bit to put to paper and to put to recording. And
Awesome.
I have some resources too. I have some friends that have some studios that are like, dude, don't worry about money. Just come down here and you can plug away until the sun comes up. You know?
Always incredibly helpful.
Yeah.
Well, very, very cool, man. And we'll definitely talk a little bit more. But that was all my tough questions to ask you.
Oh, right on. I
And,
appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Now, do you have the easy ones?
Yeah, the easy ones are coming up.
Oh, they're coming up next.
Well, you guys, you know, we come here for the cocktails, and I know that you all tune in for the jams, and hopefully are having some cocktails out there as well. So we're going to do that for you. But up next, we're going to get our midweek motivation with leadership coach Tony Espinosa. But first, let's get our first jam of the night here. What do you say, Jason? You ready to do it to it?
Sure, man.
Why not, right?
I got this.
All right, you guys, give it up for Jason Ambrose.
Thank you so much. You got me over there, Brad?
I
There we
do.
go.
There it is.
I'm not trying to walk home, so I'm just going to go with this request in the room here.
Always good to fill those requests.
I used to spend my nights out in the barroom. Liquor was the only love I know. But then you rescued me from reaching for the bottom. Brought me back from being too far gone. You're smooth Tennessee whiskey. You're sweet strawberry wine. Girl, you're warm as a glass of brandy. I stay stoned on your love all the time. Hey girl, I look for love in all the same old places. Found the bottom of the bottle was always dry. When you poured out your heart, girl, I didn't waste it. 'Cause there's nothing like your love that gets me high. You're smooth Tennessee whiskey. You're sweet strawberry wine. You're warm as a glass of brandy. I stay stoned on your love all the time. You're smooth Tennessee whiskey, your sweet strawberry wine, your warm glass of brandy. I stare stone on your love all the time. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey, Tennessee whiskey, Tennessee whiskey.
I feel like that's a pretty common request these days. Well done, Jill. Nice. Awesome.
Couldn't have wrote it better myself.
Right?
Yeah, it's a good one.
So good. Well, you guys, each week, Tony gives us what we need to get through our week. So grab a pen and take some notes. This is your midweek motivation.
BradBrock.com. How you doing, my friend? Jams and Cocktails Wednesday. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's staying focused. Hope everyone's working at what they're supposed to be working on to get where they're trying to go. And that's my point today. Right now, I'm living it. I'm sleeping in hotels. I'm moving from city to city. I'm doing what I have to do to get where I want to be. You have to have faith in the process. You have to have passion about what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish. Nobody great, nobody on top, nobody that's living their dream and doing what they want to be doing and becoming the person that they're supposed to become did it on accident, and it did not happen overnight. You have to put in the work, you have to put in the sweat, you have to be focused, intentional, and you have to be passionate. You have to be patient. You need to sacrifice whatever it is to get where you want to go. Look, the bigger the dream, the bigger the goal, the bigger the sacrifice. I'm sacrificed right now. I'm sacrificed being at my home. I'm sacrificed being with my girl, my pets, the people I love, hanging out in the cantina, sleeping in my own bed. I'm doing that because I know it's what I have to do to get where I'm trying to get. I need to go through the process. I have faith in the process. I know it's going to work. Why? Because the people I've surrounded myself with are doing it. They've done it. I'm where they were 3 years ago. So surround yourself with people doing what you want to be doing. Follow their process. The path is already there. The trail has already been blazed. You're not putting a flag anywhere. Just have faith in the process. Have faith in yourself. Be passionate about what you're trying to be doing, and you will get there. Do not give up at the first sign of adversity. Do not give up on the obstacles that get in your way. Those are learning and growing moments. They're gonna be there. You have to go through it. Have faith in the process. You'll become who you're supposed to become. Get out there. Show the world you're awesome. Be you. Don't be afraid. Let the haters hate. Let the skeptics be skeptic, and show them. Use that as your fuel to become where you're trying to be. Family, friends, anyone putting you down, prove them wrong. Don't let that negative attitude. They just know that you're doing something great. You're changing. You're climbing that mountain. Your train is moving, and they know that they're going to get left behind. So have faith in the process. Be consistent. Be intentional, and you're going to get where you want to be. Have a great week. Brad Brock, I love you, my friend. I'll talk to you soon.
Yay, Tony! Look how strapping he looks in that suit.
I know.
Yeah, he pumped me up.
He's out of town on that business trip, so he's looking sharp.
Wow.
But he's right. You know, it's all about being intentional, and he harps on that a lot, and that's something that really sits with me, is being intentional about the things that you do, and being patient and not giving up at the first sign of adversity. You know, you want to reach a goal, you gotta put your mind to it and get through it. So even if it's as simple as putting your mind to getting through the rest of this week and doing a good job at your job and doing all of that.
So
Very,
true.
very important.
Are you talking to me, sir?
Yes, directly to you. In fact,
Figured as much.
well, you guys, if you are looking for more motivation and need some guidance to get to the next level of your life professionally or personally, reach out to Tony Espinosa at TonyEspinosaLeadership.com, or you could search him out on social media and connect with him. Coming up, we'll play an interactive round of Name That Tune. In the meantime, another tune from Jason, perhaps?
Sure, man. I'm gonna tell you.
We're putting you to work tonight.
That's all right. It's all right. I don't mind. Make sure I got everything going here. See ya. Just like live. You know? Well, since we're doing vintage and throwbacks, man, maybe I'll do one of those Buck Wild songs.
Oh, don't threaten me with a good
Please
time.
do.
Right here on the podcast. Putting on my walking shoes, ain't nothing you can do. No way to change how I feel. Gave all I had and tried. Got sick of fighting, turning this mountain to an old hill. I'm getting over you. Oh, now I'm getting over you. Over you. Burn through another town, got the hammer down. 200 miles back to Tennessee. You had your last chance, we danced our last dance. It's time I end this memory. I'm getting over you. Oh, now I'm getting over you. You had plenty of time, girl, to change my mind. So I'm getting over you. Over you. You had plenty of time, girl, to change my mind. So I'm getting over you. Oh, now I'm getting over you. Over you. Over you. Over you.
Nice.
Thank you.
That was that was the first song on the countdown, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh man. So remind us again how old you were when you wrote that song.
I was teetering between 16 and 17 years old. This was before a lot of technology. So I honestly, like I was saying earlier, I wrote that on a notepad like everybody does.
Right.
And my only way of getting it to look somewhat professional or for copyright reasons was to use a typewriter.
Typewriter.
And I typed it up on a typewriter.
It's fun, but I had mentioned earlier that like that those songs kind of they carry on. Like you did a very good job. Not that you could even fathom what was coming in the next 20 years or whatever.
Right.
But songs that really love songs, or unless you're saying, I'm gonna text you or whatever the
Right,
case is.
right,
You know?
right, right.
I find like a lot of modern songs that talk about
Right.
that is going to be completely obsolete. in the
Forget you,
next-
girl. I'm gonna put you in my TikTok. Watch.
Yeah, exactly. So
Slip you into my DMs.
yeah, I don't feel like people are creating music anymore that's particularly has any kind of particular longevity. I think they're just trying to make a hit right now and be
What?
done with it.
What I love about my youngin over there, right there, she'll tell you to this day. She like we joke about all the time. I said, I found out why your generation is so angry. It's because your music sucks. And she goes, I agree.
Well,
She goes, I agree.
Awesome.
at least you agree.
You raised her right.
Don't not to knock it. There is great music out there. It's just not what you're hearing on the radio.
Right,
You
right.
got to kind of dig for it.
It's
these
obscure,
days.
right? It's like Spotify or
Yeah.
like underground.
So it's out
almost.
there. It exists. That's where my music is. So go
Yeah.
find it.
Yeah, man.
So, moving on to the next segment here, we'd like to invite all of you tuning in to play the game with us tonight. So, after you hear the clues, you're going to give us the song name and the artist name in the chats or the comments. So, we'll be writing our guesses down on the boards here in the lounge. And of course, at the end of the game, we'll draw a raffle winner out of the participants for something fun. So, what do you say, guys? You want to play Name That Tune?
Can't wait.
Yay.
Or as I like to call it, not having to switch cameras anymore.
Brad, do you remember this one? One time for the rodeo.
Oh, no.
How many times do we hear that? And the band's up next.
Yep. Is Bobby tuning in tonight? Too funny.
We love you, Bobby.
Oh, man. Well, you guys, tonight's category is country vocal groups.
I did not see that coming.
Didn't see that one coming?
Wow.
No, you act like we never have a theme or anything.
Watch
here.
me flunk this.
Oh, Jill's feeling confident over there. Did you? Yes.
Yeah. So this runs the gamut. We're running from early country stuff to stuff that you hear recently. So
Oh boy.
running the gamut. Are you guys ready to play?
I don't think there's been a genre I was ready for yet.
I'm just glad I don't have to guess. I'm just playing the game or being the host of it. All right. First clue: country vocal groups. Remember, you guys at home.
Oh, it's groups.
Groups. Yeah. So you are basically at home. Paul Robertson from Drums and Rum says, "Can I phone a friend?" I don't care what you do. Just don't Google it. That's not fair. But you are basically our stopwatch. So as soon as somebody puts a correct answer in the chats wherever you're watching, we stop writing and then we show our answers.
Hey Scott, give us some time before you answer.
Hey, Brad, I just got to know, though, for country music preference, are you like a solo guy or are you into the group thing?
I the more the merrier.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah, it was a comment. It was a question.
Was
in
it
the chat?
Where? Who said
just
that?
kidding.
Oh, listen, you guys are.
We double got you.
Listen, I'm trying to
That was
work.
group.
This is my day job over here. I'm trying to work, you guys. Distracting me. All right, first clue.
Easy.
This is a pretty easy
That's
one.
what she said.
Here we go.
I'm in a hurry to get things done. Oh,
Oh my god. I thought that was a pretty easy one. Here it is one more time for you guys listening at home.
I'm in a hurry to get things done. Oh,
Waiting on those comments to come in. Ashley, it's not Brooks and Dunn, but Paul Kaysen just chimed in with Alabama. Give me this. That's the correct artist, but we need the name of the song. Here it is one more time.
I'm in a hurry to get things done. Oh,
A hint for the faint of heart. If you listen really closely, you get the name of the song. So. All right. Well, we'll go with it. Is everybody done with their guesses here in the studio? Kevin McLaughlin says Alabama. It is Alabama. That is correct. Anybody got the name of the song? All right. You got Alabama as well. Anybody get the name of the song?
I put "Get Things Done." by
I'm
Brooks
in a
and
hurry.
Dunn.
I put in a hurry.
Derek, you are the closest one.
Is it just-
Ashley chimed in with I'm in a hurry. Alabama. That is correct.
Whoa.
Well done. What did you get over there, Jill? I didn't get to see yours. What was it? Oh, no.
They sound the same.
Not Brooks and Dunn.
You know what I know what's funny about this is I should be disqualified because Rough Shot does this song and she lives with me.
Get out of here.
Gosh.
All
Well,
right,
we
you
feel
guys.
better.
This is how much attention I get.
All right, you guys.
Yeah, do your singing thing.
Next clue. Here we go.
I wake up and teardrops.
Got this one.
I figured I'd bring it into the 21st century. Here it is. One more time for you guys at home. This is a short clue.
I wake up and teardrops.
Yes, Ashley, it is Rascal Flatts. Give us the name of the song. Linda also said, I'm in a hurry, Alabama. So that must be a little bit of a... Seems like there's a little bit of a lag on one of the pages. That's okay. We are looking for the name of this song.
I wake up and teardrops.
All right, Ashley got it with These Days by Rascal Flatts. Let's see those cards, you guys. Hold them up to your cameras. Rascal Flatts These Days. Well
Nice.
done. Rascal Flatts These Days. Rascal Flatts. No names of the songs for
I
you
don't
guys,
know
huh?
names.
I was brain farting. I went through like every song of theirs. Yeah.
Wasn't she the one that said, "Oh, I got this one"?
Yeah. this
Oh,
is
it's so funny.
basic.
Scott Benj just chimed
Swiftly,
in on
I
YouTube.
mind
It
you.
said,
She said that
brain
swiftly.
fart.
Yes.
It's fine.
Oh, I got this.
I didn't want to embarrass anyone.
Yeah, you're very quick to, I'm on this. All right, next clue.
Okay, so Scott.
Yep.
Anyone else? Heard Linda.
Yep, Scott, Linda,
And then I have the other culprits.
the usual suspects.
Yes.
Kevin McLaughlin, Ashley,
And Paul. Yep. Okay.
Giamatti.
Groovy. All right, next clue.
Smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo. Now don't tell me.
I have
Oh,
nothing to
that's a
do.
trick one, Brad. And you know why?
It is.
I know why.
You know why?
So it's the original.
Yeah.
I will say that. I'll put that out there. Here it is one more time.
Smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo. Now don't tell me.
you know who's going to get that is Paul. I guarantee you.
Well, I know.
Wait for it.
Yeah, he already did. All right, Paul. Now, when Paul was playing in my band, we covered this tune by Eric Featherly.
Yeah.
Heatherly. And
That's how I know it.
so let me get the original. Scott says, Scott Benjamin on YouTube says Oak Ridge Boys. That's who I thought it was, but that is incorrect. But it's in the same realm of time. So we are looking for the artist,
I won't change my answer.
not the Oak Ridge Boys. He asked if it was in Pulp Fiction. I'm not sure. It sounds like something that would have been in Pulp Fiction. Not the Oak Ridge Boys. All right. What do you guys have here in the studio?
I'd like to explain mine.
Some old dudes counting flowers on the wall. Not the Oak Ridge Boys. Well done.
Good job.
Help. All right, Jordan, explain yours
Okay,
here.
so I thought maybe it was like an old version because right where it cut off, I thought it would say
You were correct.
"Wake Up, Little Susie," and then it said Gilligan's Island because it sounds like the theme song to Gilligan's Island people.
What were we talking about?
Jordy, you've been hitting that fireball right there. Like there was nothing about Gilligan's Island.
Well,
in
it
that
sounds
song.
like the group that sings the Gilligan's Island theme song.
Oh, I got you. Now.
yeah. See where I'm going with that?
I see. You
Maybe
now.
I should hit the fire.
That's a wild. Oh, but Paul came in with the wind. It is the Statler Brothers.
Oh,
Statler
that.
Brothers.
Paul is my
Bobby.
music encyclopedia.
Right, he's a good one to have. Scott Benj also with the Statler Brothers. He is Scott Benj is our reigning champion for Name That Tune currently. Paul is pulling up a close second here. He might even surpass it.
He is.
All right, next clue. You guys ready?
No.
Redemption.
Redemption. Here we go.
Can I stay with you a while? 'Cause this road's been putting miles.
Again, bringing it into the 21st century. I'm just going to play it
Got
again
this
because I
one.
like to hear it.
Can I stay with you a while? 'Cause this road's
There is
been
nothing better.
putting miles.
Yeah, he is an angel.
Don't give away clues, Jordan. But we do like to go see him anytime he's in town.
Yes.
Really, really worth it.
Flawless.
Jill, you'll love him. It's another bearded guy, by the way.
All right, Scott. It is the Zach Brown Band, but we're looking for the name of the song.
Guys too.
Looking for the name of the song as well. He says Scott says no idea on the song.
Oh, Scott.
I know.
I don't either.
I know.
Oh, goodness.
It's always fun to like put together the sound bites because I always want it to hit on the hook,
Right.
but I'm like, oh, it'll give it away every time.
But you see how they say they know the artist, right?
Yeah.
That's another lesson, if we got a second here, that
Yeah.
I learned early in life is like, you have to sound original. And I do
Yes.
that even with my covers. Like, I'll do, like, say, You Shook Me All Night Long. And I sing it in my voice.
Right.
And some people take offense to that. Some people say that's cool. Like, I'm not trying to sound like anybody. Somebody else already made $1 million to sound like they sound to make that. I'm playing
Yeah.
to you guys because I like the song and you guys like the song. I'm gonna
Absolutely.
sing it how I sing it.
It's so funny. I just had a conversation with Kevin McLaughlin, who's tuning in tonight, another local musician around town.
Right. I've seen some stuff.
And we just had a phone conversation just a couple days ago, and he had recently come out to see my show for the first time. We've been friends for ages, but coming out to see my one-man band show. And he was like, the spin that you put on the songs is so different and your own and original. And I was like, yeah, if I wanted to be a jukebox, I would have a quarter slot. Like, I'm not, jukebox even take quarter slots anymore? I don't even think they do.
The one compliment
No.
I never wanted was you sound exactly like the artist. Like, I just don't. It's
Yeah, it sounds terrible.
It's like, oh wait, I must have did something wrong. I didn't put me enough of me.
Honestly,
on there.
the only time I ever get that is when people compare, when they say, you know who you sound like? You sound just like Cat Stevens. And I'm like, I'll take that.
But he doesn't sing Cat Stevens.
right.
Yes, I do.
Not much.
Yeah.
I do a few songs. Anyway, Ashley Morales got it with Sweet Annie. Let's see those cards, though. Hold those up to the camera.
Oh, man.
Zach Brown.
They're gonna
not
take.
Brad
They're
Brock
gonna
in the
take my
Renegades.
card away in Nashville because I thought it was called like colder weather.
No, but
That's a
Jordan
good
got
one,
it as
too.
well.
Yeah.
Not Brad Brock and the Renegades. That is correct. In fact.
See?
Jordan, you totally redeemed yourself.
Thank you.
Oh, Scott, I'm
So
gonna
much
I'm gonna give
redemption.
you a shout out to Scott Bench says I love your version of Friend of the Devil. It is a great tune. I can't take 100% credit for that. The Counting Crows did a version of Friend of the Devil, so mine is more of a take on their version of it than of the Grateful Dead.
Confessions.
So no, really, if you want to check out a great version of Friend of the Devil, check out the Counting Crows version. It's really really nice.
Or
That's
the
a
Brad
whole
Brock
nother
version.
show. We could do like Confessions of Brad Brock.
And also to your question, Scott Benj, the name of the Statler song was Flowers on the Wall. Yeah. Oh, Paul says the ice cream song. Paul, it was one of my original. It wasn't the ice cream song. I think it was called Summer Love. It was a song that I wrote back in the Renegades days. But there was a
man.
line in it about eating ice cream on the back of my truck. And so from then on and forever,
It's been
it was
deemed
known the ice cream song.
I remember that truck.
Yeah, you do. Anyway.
Wow.
Anyway.
Mine out of the gutter.
Scott says Counting Crows was inspired by the slow version by the Dead. So, man, it just keeps going round and round. All right.
Some knowledgeable people out there.
I know, man. I love this group that tunes in. You guys are amazing. I have one more clue for you. This was like a guilty pleasure song for me. In fact, this band, they're still around. They're still touring. They're still doing their thing. But when I think back on like growing up listening to country music on the radio, this is a band that just is quintessential to me. Like I love everything they ever did. Here we go.
Ooh.
So I pray this time.
Like I could literally sit here and listen to that whole song right now.
So I pray this time.
They had so many hits. Great group.
Yeah.
They were kind of a crossover group too. They weren't.
Yeah,
They weren't 100% country. But
They started this whole thing with like where Rascal Flatts is to now wouldn't be without them.
Yes.
I won't say it because I'm going to be waiting for comments.
But yes, you're absolutely right. They were definitely like a trailblazing group back
Which
in the
is
90s
what
and
Buck
the
Wild
80s.
wanted to do. I mean, our goal at that point, because once we realized that our keyboard player Vernon Roop, who cheap plug, does Seven Bridges Experience,
Right.
he's doing like an Eagles tribute band now. He's doing really well with it. They have their own bus, their own production, their own everything. When we realized that he can hit some high notes and I can sing the third above, and Shane was piping the leads out, that was our goal. It was to be. We didn't want to be like just a band. We wanted to do like that vocal group thing,
Right.
and be known for the harmonies as well as the live performance. Like,
Absolutely.
you know, because some people had the vocal, some people had the performance, and our goal was just always to be like, we're going to give them everything. We want that Garth Brooks performance with that like a vocal group, you know, vocals in your face, harmonies all the time.
Yeah. I love it. I'm going to play it one more time. We had some really fun comments. I want to read in a second.
So I pray this time.
Paul, by the way, got the band name. It is Restless Heart.
Yeah, I got that too. I still don't know the song by that much of a clip, but that's what I had to say.
Yep, Restless Heart. You got it.
Good
Anybody
job.
else? Anybody else get the answer?
Nope.
No, Wet Behind the Ears.
Yep.
Oh, Wet Behind the Ears.
I put "Pray All the Time" by Bradley's fave old country group band.
Oh, way to listen to information and then regurgitate it.
Thank you. I'm very good at that.
Lone Star.
Oh, not Lone Star, but another great group. Paul also got it. When She Cries. That is correct. So
Why
well
do
done.
you pray when she cries?
Ashley said When She Cries.
And they were
well
so
done.
underrated too. Like when you think about vocal groups, it's all you'll ever hear is Alabama, Diamond Rio,
Right.
or Rascal Flatts.
Yep.
Nobody ever says Restless Heart, and Restless
Restless
Heart
Heart
is the one that pioneered it. They were the first ones.
They were so great. Absolutely. Kevin McLaughlin said, it ain't country if the guitar has chorus on it.
There was a time where that was the only way it was
I know.
country.
Like the late 80s, early
that
90s
PV
sounds.
stereo chorus 212 was the amp of choice for everybody.
Yes. Oh, well, that has been our game. Name that tune. Well done, you guys. It was a tough one. It was tough.
It was.
I never realized how tough it is because I'm
You don't
creating it.
participate?
Yeah.
Yeah. Every week he's like, "These are so easy."
I never say that. I say some of them are difficult.
Occasionally.
But yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh, I made it." So yeah, I picked them out.
Well, what do you say we draw for a raffle drawing?
Yeah, what is
Oh,
what-
see, I remembered this week.
I was
Jordan.
I know. I was just gonna remind you. I thought you were moving on. I was like, wait.
Always moving. In fact, I even made it a point to make a note in my notes to
Wow.
do the raffle draw. I didn't make the notes. I didn't.
Oh, you just made a note for the note.
I
but you
made a
didn't
note to make the
note.
notes, and I never made the notes.
Oh wow.
See how that works?
Perfect.
All right. How many numbers?
Anything helps.
How many people we have participate this week?
Only 5.
Oh, that narrows it down, though.
I know.
Narrows it down. All right. Well, Jason, would you
Yes.
do us the honors? Give us a number 1 to 5.
Oh, I'm gonna go because I kind of play right down the middle. I'm gonna go with 3.
3. Who we got there,
Nice.
Jordan?
Kevin.
Kevin McLaughlin.
Yeah.
All right, Kevin. You know the drill. We got some fun prizes for you. So you just let me know what you'd like, whether it's hot sauce or more koozies or a really cool pink guitar necklace.
Pink. Hot pink.
And I think we're getting some keychains done this week. So
Ooh.
Pink guitar necklace.
Yeah,
Is
how
the
about
necklace pink or is the guitar pink?
guitar pick is
Guitar
pink.
pick is
Yeah.
pink.
Yeah.
Yes.
Indeed.
I
Beautiful.
like it.
Indeed. Well,
Real
coming up
men
next,
rock
you
pink.
guys, we will be putting Jason on the hot seat inside the Lipton tea.
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
Dun dun dun. Oh, I need that
Hot seat.
I need that soundbite. And if we're gonna work on that.
Yeah.
Raggy.
Yep. But before we do that, what do you say for another song here, Jason?
Hey, man.
You feeling it?
I can do whatever you want me to do twice on Sunday.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Kevin wants the hot sauce.
Hot sauce. All right, Kevin, you got it. Write that down, Jordan, so I know what to send him.
Got
And just if any of you are waiting on prizes, they are going out this week. So I try to send them all out at the same time to really piss off my my mailman. All right, you guys, give it up once again for Jason Ambrose.
Oh, yeah. Thank you guys so much. I'm gonna do this like I'm live in special dedication. I'm sure he may be watching, maybe he's not, maybe he's gonna pick it up later on YouTube or whatever have you. One of Rough Shot's biggest fan, Mike Roberts, loves this song. So Mike Roberts, if you're paying attention, here you go. I see me and you riding like Bonnie and Clyde, doing 95 an hour down to 125, yeah. Searching for the law while I push my luck. I see you ride a shotgun like it ain't no thing. Turn the radio up so the girl can sing right. Pulling to the party like y'all, what's up? Tonight it's bottoms up, up. Throw it on down, rock this quiet little country town. Get up. Drop your tailgate on the truck. Find a keg and fill your cup. Oh, throw it on back. Pretty little mama looking at you like that. If you wanna slide on in like girl, what's up? Tonight it's bottoms up. Get 'em up. Tonight it's bottoms up. Get 'em up. Damn, I gotta tip my hat. Never thought a country song would make you move like that. It's just doing it in Daisy Dukes. She got you tapping on your boy's shoulder. Dog, check this out. This is how them girls do it in the dirty South, yeah. She'll have you on her knee, can I marry you? Tonight it's bottoms up, up. Throw it on down. Rock this quiet little country town. Get up. Drop a tailgate on the truck. Find a keg and fill your cup. Oh, throw it on back. Pretty little mama looking at you like that. If you wanna slide on in like girl, what's up? Tonight it's bottoms up. Get 'em up. Tonight it's bottoms up. Get 'em up. Yeah. This is where we need a Brad Brock solo right here. Raise your hand for the good times. Everybody get your drinks up high. Everybody's feeling alright, alright. Tonight it's bottoms up, throw it on down. Rock this quiet little country town. Get up, drop the tailgate on the truck. Find a keg and fill your cup. Oh, throw it on back. Pretty little mama looking at you like that. If you wanna slide on in like girl, what's up? Tonight it's bottoms up. Oh, throw it on down. Rock this quiet little country town. Get up, drop a tailgate on the truck. Find a keg and fill your cup. Oh, throw it on back. Pretty little mama looking at you like that. If you wanna slide on in like girl, what's up? Tonight it's bottoms up. Get 'em up. Tonight it's bottoms up. Get 'em up.
Bottoms up.
I was going to say, bottoms up.
Subliminal message here.
Right. It's funny. I think I finally tapped the keg. We just recently added draft beer to the lounge here, and I think I did it. I have another one in the fridge.
Jill was checking that out already. She's like, "Does he have a freaking cake?"
Yes, sir.
Like, literally, like, is it cold? Does it work?
What's going on there?
Yes, it does. It's funny. They're actually pretty. They're usually pretty expensive, and I was like, yeah, it'd be kind of a cool addition to have just to the lounge,
Yeah,
you
no
know.
doubt.
And
That's straight.
so I was like, let me see what they have on Marketplace, and sure enough, there was some guy was selling it for $40, and I was like, well, shut up and take my money.
That's right.
So-
When and how do I mean?
Yeah, and I was like, I like Heineken enough. I know that that's pretty common to get the mini keg for Heineken, so I was
Right.
like, let's do it. So yeah, I know we've been talking quite a bit about Buck Wild. I have a photograph here.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yep.
This is gonna be so 90s. I can't. I can't.
Oh my god, you guys are
Yeah,
just,
what will you look like?
you guys are just full on babies. So here, I'm going to pull it up here real quick. It's so good.
I was literally half my age probably in these pictures.
Let's see if it pops up here. Oh, it's not coming up.
Wow, you all look great.
For shame.
Right.
Such great tans in this.
We were trying to be more artistic. We want you to really think about it.
Think about what we look like.
No, I'm not letting you off the hook that easy.
There's no way Brad's let me get away with this.
Nope.
I could do this. I have the power.
You can do
What's
it.
really bad is I'm already cringing because I can see it in the reflection behind you.
You know what photo it is?
Here it is.
It is cringe worthy, as the kids say these days.
Oh, cringe.
There it is. So see if you can pick out which
my.
one is
Hey.
Jason.
But you want to laugh? That's at the Broken Spoke in Nashville. That was Darren Smith's bar, Tim
Yeah.
McGraw's bar. And that's our bass player at the time was Scotty Gibbs. He's a very talented bass player.
Yep.
And that's Donnie LaStella, who really, he was with us for quite a while on drums. Donnie's doing some other things. He had some family things he preferred to do. But he's a phenomenal. That's our keyboard player next to me there, who is Vernon Roop, who, like I said, is with the Seven Bridges Ultimate Eagles Experience, who's like making mad money over this. I'm kind of jealous. He's touring all over the country. They bought their own bus, their own sound production. I mean, these guys are killing it.
Yeah, they're
doing
really
Eagles covers.
running the game.
Nice.
Next to you. So does that? Do you want to reveal which one you are then?
Oh,
It is
let's
hard to
talk
say
about
because I
that.
was kind of clean shaven then. I guess. That was my feeble attempt at a mustache even back then because here's the thing about this beard. This beard took like 20 years to make happen. Like I don't grow facial hair like normal people. Like it literally if I was to shave this off, it would be 2 years before it got like
Oh,
this again.
no.
Easy. 2 years.
Oh,
My
that's too
brother,
funny.
I don't know why I have that gene because my brother could shave and have like what Brad's got going on over there by day two.
oh
You know
well.
what I mean? He could clean shave and by day two be looking like Brad. Me?
I
this
wouldn't wish
is
that
2
on
years,
anybody.
you know.
Yeah.
Let me see.
That's funny.
I have another photo that this was provided by our good friend Bobby Laredo.
Bobby was one of our biggest fans and supporters. I love the fact
He was a gem. He was the guy. He was
He's
the
still
one
to
that
this
told
day.
me that I needed to come up and see you, and see your band. And so we did. We made a trip up to Uncle Mick's, one of the only bars that they would just let me come in as a 16-year-old.
because it was tough. I mean, even as Buck Wild, I mean, a lot of us were under 21 and we were playing like Desperados and Doodas, and I'm saying names that nobody knows anymore.
Doodas, yeah.
Davy Junction. These were 21 and over. They didn't even open till 8 o'clock at night bars that played till 4 a.m. And me and Shane had high school at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. You know? And what's even more cool, yet struggling, yet maybe even embarrassing for some adults, at that time in those days, we were making more money than most of the adults in the neighborhood.
You're right.
And we were in high school. We were going to high school, and we were pulling in like $600, $700, $800 a week.
Yeah,
You know,
it's unbelievable. Yeah,
and my mom's like, I went from asking my mom can I have money for a T-shirt at this concert to, hey mom, can I throw you some bits for the light bill? Can I throw you? You're like,
well, at least that was nice of you.
Or like, can I fill up the gas tank if you let me take the car? It was kind of like that. Like,
so Bobby sent me this photo. This was a while back, but this is one of the times that I'd come up to hang out with you guys.
Brad, that's
I think I
awesome.
was there that night.
And that's
may
when we
have
had
been.
Mike Burns on the bass. Mike is
Yep.
the best bass player. He plays for a band now called Burnt Biscuit. I'm sure we
Yes,
crossed paths.
absolutely.
There's no better bass players than Mike Burns, and he's just a phenomenal player.
Well, you had a nice like little chin strap beard going there. It was
Yeah,
good.
you know,
Solid.
I started when I was 16. I was probably 22 in this picture.
Oh man,
I still have that crushed velvet shirt too, by the way.
you know, I probably still have that T-shirt I'm wearing. Like, I feel like we kind of run the gamut. We keep all of our clothes. I have tons.
I
of
try to
stuff.
explain this to Jill because she clowns me all the time about all the clothes. I said, when you're a musician, you don't get rid of anything, and you have every shirt. We have more clothes than women have. I mean, it's straight up.
true.
Jill has like this much of our closet. Our closet's kind of like an L shape. It goes this way. Well, maybe even a U shape. But at any rate, she has this much of it, and I have the rest of it. Not to mention all the clothes that I have folded in plastic bins under our king size bed, and I have a couple in our daughter's closet.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah. I can't. I can't.
All the clothing.
I don't have all that.
Yeah.
But I'm always been like a t-shirt and jeans guy. So
Yeah, Buck Wild was the whole Garth Brooks.
Right.
Remember Mo Betta, that brand Mo Betta?
Yes, I do.
With all the different
Mo Betta.
styles.
In fact, I'm sure that I had some of those.
Yeah, it was Wrangler jeans, Mo Betta shirts, it was Justin boots, and it was Stetson hats. And
was
I
the
had
way
the
we
full
rolled.
collection.
Wow.
Yeah. And then the minute like Rascal Flatts and artists started coming out with T-shirts and ball caps, I was like, "Thank you, Jesus."
Seriously, it was to a point where I would get in trouble in some venues, including Uncle Mix with Kenny. Kenny would
Right.
sometimes kind of get on our case because we would come in ball caps, and my bass player at the time, it wasn't Paul, but it was kind of like the Reunion Renegades
Right.
tour. And so my buddy Blake, who I think was tuning in earlier, was the bass player of that band. And, he came in with like a skull cap one time, like a toque or a...
Dude, bar owners
or
were
being-
Nazis.
Yeah,
I thought,
here,
like-
flash forward 10 years later, Zach Brown comes out as the biggest thing that happened to
Right,
country
Luke
music in the
Bryan.
last 20 years.
Luke Bryan, ball cap, T-shirt.
Yep, same man. And
We were pioneers. We started this crap.
I would like to think so because I even did. We did a gig down. There was a place in Key West called Cowboy Bill's.
Right. I remember.
And
that.
man, we went down there and I played the first night, or it was like the first set. Played the first set. I was wearing a ball cap and just kind of my standard thing. And Bill took me aside and was like, "Listen, I hire country bands to come in here, not hippity hop bands."
Oh, hippity
and
hop.
I was like,
you do the hippity hop.
You do the hippity hoppity?
I was like, "No worries, man. I have a cowboy hat in the. I have a cowboy hat in the room."
You should have known better.
So I ran upstairs to the band house and grabbed my cowboy hat and we played. It was no more problems the rest of the.
Bro, I could tell you stories. There's been 2 times, and I think Uncle Mix was one of them. And it wasn't with Buckwild. It was when I was playing with Common Ground.
Mm-hmm.
And Mark Kirkendall, who was in Buckwild, the signed version of Buckwild, again, phenomenal drummer, one of my best friends to this day. If he didn't have a shirt in his truck that he can give me, because I think of things differently. I don't know about you, but like, I think artists and entertainers, they dress however they want, whatever they feel comfortable, because they're artists and entertainers.
Right.
Something about Uncle Mix back in those days, and kind of still to this day, because I've been playing there since I'm 16, I'm 43, and I'm
Same.
still playing there.
I'm pretty sure I had
But,
my 16th birthday. I could probably find pictures of my 16th birthday
But
party
they-
at Uncle Mix.
The bouncers would not let me in, even though I was telling them I was in the band and I have to be on stage in 5 minutes because I had a sleeveless shirt on. It wasn't even a tank top because their sign said no tank tops and no, but it was just a sleeveless shirt. And they said, "Nope, you can't come in." And the band was freaking out, and they were giving. And Mark Kirkendall had a shirt, a long sleeve shirt, in his truck, and luckily he gave it to me. I put. They weren't going to let me.
unbelievable.
They weren't going to let me perform because I had a sleeveless shirt on. It was.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
And that's
let me
happened
tell
to
you
me
what.
twice in my life.
Country music back in the early 2000s.
Yeah, there was a dress code, and it was serious. It was
Yep.
super serious.
It was wild, man. It was wild.
I remember with Wrangler jeans having and you had to wear them so tight. Like, this is embarrassing. But girl, it's funny because only women can relate. So Jordan, you might know something about this one, but it's like I would wear my jeans so tight that I would have to lay on the bed and use a coat hanger to push my front pockets down so they would smooth out because you could see if they were fucked up, like a wrinkle. I mean, effed up.
yeah.
I'm sorry. And if they were wrinkled up, like I would have to push them down with a coat hanger to make them smooth so that they wouldn't.
that's a good idea.
That's how tight I wore my Wranglers.
I wish I had known that back in the day. I was using other things. I think I used like a
I
butter
totally
knife
had-
a couple times. Yep.
I
knew
had
the
male
move.
camel toe all the time. That was crazy. All the time. And why was white jeans a thing? Because that made it worse.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
white jeans were a thing.
Oh my gosh.
Paul actually, he commented, he said to tell you about the time at Uncle Mick's when I ate too much before my first set. And
He clowns me about that. He goes, because this happened to me. And he goes, that happened to Brad too. Like But like as singers, as anybody, you get to the gig, you don't want to get there super early, but you're hungry,
Right.
So you eat a little something right before the stage, and there's times you're going to be belching or something while you're performing.
Oh yeah. Well, this particular time, if it's the one I think he's thinking.
Yeah,
of,
he told me it killed you. It put you out.
well,
He's told me this story.
Carb
the
coma?
restrooms at Uncle Mick's were
Super tiny.
Yes. So if it was full or there was a line, so I remember I was like, guys, I have to go. And so we were in the middle of a set. So Bill, I think, sang a song or sang a couple songs. And I left the bar, ran around to the Publix or
Wow.
Winn-Dixie, whatever's in that plaza, and went
Gangster.
in
It was
there
Winn-Dixie.
and used the restroom and then came back and jumped back on stage. And I was like, well, that's great. I'm glad that we did this. But yeah, that was, and that's why I rarely eat before my gigs anymore. Like
That happened to me in the Keys one time. I think every artist has that I have to poo in the middle of my set speech. And I'm not afraid to say that this happened to me in the Keys one time. I was playing the Tiki Bar, and luckily in a vocal band, you got a bunch of guys that can sing.
yeah, that is helpful.
But what's funny about it is the bass player at the time, who is Jamie Davis. He may see this, so I'm gonna give him a cheap plug. He stays in like Ocala, Live Oak, that North Florida area, and he's a very talented singer and guitar player. But anyway, he was the bass player, and it was funny because he was playing bass for us at the time. That gig was screwed from the start, to be honest, because we were booked by an agent, and we were on the road, yet we're playing in the Keys. And we were booked it was the Pimps and Hoes Festival. And we were supposed to be a funk band booked there.
What?
And we were a country band that showed up.
Wait, what? This is important because I might be able to tie a story together here. What year was this, and what resort was this at?
I believe it was at that famous Tiki Bar
At the Postcard Inn?
Maybe.
Okay.
Possibly. It's the stage was like a tiki stage over the water. And then they had they put you up in a band house that had like a bunch of mattresses on the floor, like 4 feet away. Yeah. So anyway,
What year did this happen?
I wish I knew. It was early 2000s.
Okay.
But if we were already the wrong band for the job, but we made the best of it. We, again, being young guys, we could pull together some Mustang Sally or whatever kind of funky songs we could think of, Play Your Funky Music, White Boy, and Brick House, and all these things, and we could stretch them out long enough to make a set where it's, what we do, the tricks. And, but I swear, somewhere in the first set, as if the gig wasn't awful enough, my gut, I went to bubble guts like crazy, and I literally just and I just said, and normally I can hold it, or I could even mouth to the guys like, hey, play another song, play a song that you can sing. I literally threw my guitar off and ran to the bathroom. And the bass player, who is a phenomenal singer and guitar player and everything, he covered for me, but he was actually pissed because he didn't know what was on. Like, how dare you just walk out? He couldn't fathom that maybe something was wrong. He had no idea that I literally I'm not gonna crap my pants
In those white jeans.
Yeah, exactly. And those white jeans that were 2 sizes too small. It would not look good with a big brown stain down the back of them.
Well, it's
Paul
funny.
said your go-to is Some Kind of Wonderful.
Yeah, because Paul sings Some Kind of Wonderful, and it's basically bass and drums. Since I'm the only guitar player, I can literally bail and take a
way to
leak
run.
and come back. Yeah,
He also mentioned that it was called, or a couple people mentioned that it was Holiday Isle back in the day.
Holiday Isle.
That's right.
Yeah, it was a Tiki Bar Holiday.
It's
Isle.
funny. Johnny Ringo was kind of the ringleader for those Pimps and Hoes parties down there. So you may have crossed paths with
Probably.
Code Rum
Oh,
Legacy
boy.
or
That's a good possibility.
yeah.
Weird.
He probably remembers that story, or maybe not. I don't know.
But it was a trip because I'm like, why are we booked here? And our agent was in Texas, so she doesn't know what's going on. But she obviously mixed up the bands, no doubt.
no.
There was supposed to be like a funk band or like a pop top 40 funk band there for that week, and they're like, we do country, and they're like, well, you guys are here and we can't get nobody else. So
What do they call it?
The
The good old Blues Brothers boys.
yeah, so they were like, try to do as much other kind of music as you can. We can't, do your country, but do like anything you can that's funky or rocky or poppy. And You know, we had some stuff in our repertoire, but definitely wasn't a whole night of music, let alone 3 or 4 nights.
Right. Oh, man. Well, you guys, we're going to move into our next segment here. Each week, our guests are put on the hot seat while I channel the late, great show host, Mr. James Lipton, in one of our favorite segments that we like to call Inside the Lipton Tea.
Inside the Lipton Tea.
Inside.
So great. That's kind of nice.
Hello and welcome to Inside the Lipton Tea. My name is Brad Brock, playing the part of Mr. James Lipton. I'm here with singer-songwriter Jason Ambrose. Jason, what is your favorite word?
My favorite word would be my fiance's least favorite word, which is moist.
What is your least favorite word?
No.
What turns you on?
Everything.
What turns you off?
Nothing.
What sound or noise do you love?
The oven alarm.
You know, I never thought about that.
Like
That's
food's
real.
done.
That's
Like,
real life.
Like when you know you're about to eat something amazing. I mean,
Absolutely.
think about it, because like you got like all different noises, right, that trigger you or whatever. But like, there's nothing better than because we're on the go, fast food, this, that, and that. When you know something's been cooking and someone took the time to set an alarm and that thing dings, like you're like, wow, this is the meal of the century. Like these people put preparation into it.
Ding, fries are done. Absolutely.
I don't think like people outside of musicians or maybe people that have like super busy lives can even fathom like what a home cooked meal is like.
It's true. It's true. What sound or noise do you hate?
The alarm in the morning.
What a polar opposite, right?
It's like, get up, bitch, go to work so you can pay for that nice meal that you love when you get home.
What is your favorite curse word?
Man, I don't know that I have one. Jill, what do I say a lot? Is it fuck? Is it really? I really try not to say that. That's funny. Because if I try not to say that, but you believe that that's my favorite one, that means I'm failing miserably. Yeah, that's an epic fail right there. Because I really try. I try not to cuss. I'm grooming a young human being right here. You know, but there's times where just conversation leads to like, fuck. You know,
Buddy, you're it's that sentiment is not lost on me, believe me. What profession other than your own would you like to try?
Man, I would be, dude, I don't want to say this because I don't want you to lose viewers over my issues.
This is what they're here for.
But thanks to my boy DJ T, I would like to try politics.
All right.
Boy,
There you go.
brave.
You know, somebody, quick side story. Somebody came to me and was like, you know, you should get into politics because you remember people's names and you remember like things
People
about
tell
them.
me that all the time. So
And I was like,
it's like our business. It's
I was
what we
like,
do.
no, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
But you know, it's probably why there's so many problems that there are. Like people that are probably good at it are like, no,
Don't want any interest.
I'm
Yeah.
good. Well, on the other hand, what job would you not do under any circumstance?
All right, not do under any circumstance. Dude, that's a tough one. Cause as musicians, we've done every odds and end job there is known to man. I mean, I don't think there's anything there's nothing I wouldn't do to feed my family or make me fund my music habit / career.
Right.
So that's a tough one, man. I although I was a general manager for Taco Bell for 2 years,
Here we go.
and
How hard is it there?
Who do
for
I need
them?
to talk to, by the way?
I want you to know that that job freaking sucks. And I was the general manager. I was making 40 grand a year. But the people on the line and the people working in the drive-thru, they were making $8.50 an hour. You know what I mean? And generally, this is what in society we call a get you to the next stop job or after school job.
Right.
But there were people on my line that were 30 and 40 years old, and this was their job.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to tell you, it's not freaking easy. And it was the expectations of my company that if they faltered or if they needed help, that I would jump on the line. And I was like, F that. I wanted nothing to do with it because it is so freaking hectic. Now, granted, where I'm super conservative and I'm super like, do this or do that, I definitely applauded the idea of raising their pay from like $10 an hour or $15 an hour because all the people that talk crap about like they don't deserve $15 an hour would not last one day doing that job.
I believe that.
And so, yeah, that's a job I would never want to go back to again. So if the fast food industry or maybe even the food and service industry
On the whole,
I
as a
would
whole.
never go back to again unless I was paid very handsomely.
Yeah, no, it's a thankless
That
job
ain't
in a lot of
happening.
cases.
Yeah, because
That ain't
we've all been
because
there.
and I'm the first to
Constantly.
tell you I would testify on the Bible in court that they don't make enough money for what they expected to do in the time frame they're expected to do it, and then deal with the rash customers and things that they get. They get pressure from the bosses. They get pressure from the customer, all for like $8.50, $9 an hour.
Or maybe I feel a little bit less bad about not getting my chicken quesadilla the other night.
No, you should definitely
take
get
it
what you
back.
ordered, but at the same time, like I said, it's
Maybe I
just-
have a little bit more of an appreciation of the of what goes into
yeah.
it.
You don't know what goes
And it was
into
like super late, so they were probably trying to close. But
I was just schooling Jill on it. It was funny because we were like 2 a.m. from a gig. Where do you go? Taco Bell.
Taco Bell, of course.
And we had a bird's eye view of the window counter of how long it takes them or how long they're supposed to take to get your food out from the time you ordered it to the time it gets in your hands and you're paid for and you're out the door. And I was watching it and I was like, ooh, look, it's 56, 57, 58. I said, when that shit gets to 70, it's going to turn yellow and then it's going to turn red. And she goes, what does that mean? I said, that means they should have got that shit out while it was green.
Right.
And now they're in trouble because they've made it red.
That's wild.
And I said, and you ever wonder why they ask you, can you please pull up to the line and we'll bring it out to you? Because they want that clock to
Yep.
stop
Yeah,
so that they
that's
can
so funny.
so they can get the next guy through faster, and then they bring you out so they can like leveling their crap out, you know.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That is somebody. I need to take
and
some
she-
notes.
Or you clear them off. And
Right.
if you have the little slips or you're just waiting on fries or something, you clear that shit off.
I was
and you
a
just
thug.
let those bags
They don't
sit.
they don't let you clear it off anymore.
they
You
don't.
actually have to pull forward,
Right.
or it doesn't stop.
Right, but
Wild.
it's
Sensors.
frowned upon. Like you can do it, and it's an option. But if you got caught by corporate telling people to pull forward, you would get fired.
That's funny.
So they tell you kind of to do it, but at your own risk. It's kind of one of those things like that.
That's
Oh yeah.
wow.
I personally, again, because I don't work for Taco Bell, so screw them, whatever. But when I worked there, I would personally, when the clocks were getting a little funky, I would drive through the thing myself. I was like, hey, how's it going? Sit in the drive-thru. And I'd talk for 2 seconds, go up to the window, talk for 2 seconds, and I'd make that clock go back to green as fast as I could. So my numbers look good.
Oh man.
I did Burger King for about 2 months as a manager, and I did the same thing every day.
Yeah.
It's
Drove
so
through that
wild.
drive-through
Just to get your
right after the lunch rush. Just
unbelievable. Wow, that's
So
good to know. I mean,
weird.
it's not. I mean, it
These
is
are
good to
things
know.
the general public never knows until
We're getting an
Behind the
insider.
scenes.
Jams and Cocktails podcast.
Look at us. We're
Tell all.
letting it all
dirty
out.
little secrets.
Just like a TLC tell-all.
Yeah, it's like inside the fast food tea.
Well, I have one more question inside the Lipton tea.
Uh-oh, Lipton tea.
Tangent.
Is it green tea? Diet green tea? That's my favorite.
Ooh.
Yes, mine too. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Whoo, that's a big one, dude. Did you think of that by yourself or did you Google that?
What a way to go out.
I love you,
said
Brad, and I've known you for a long time, but that's deep.
Yeah, I stole that from James Lipton from inside the actor studio. In
Yeah, I was
fact,
gonna
this
say,
entire
he-
segment is rip off.
What
Can't
would
wait till I
what
get
would I
sued for
want
it.
God or Jesus to hear me to hear say if I entered at the pearly gates.
I would say pull forward.
Right. Yeah.
Do you want your chicken quesadilla now?
Right. Can you pull forward and we'll bring it out to you? No, I would honestly say that I would just want to be welcomed. I want to be think that I lived a life that I treated people the way they deserve to be treated. I was generous. I maybe was humble in my lifetime. Like I took some L's to make somebody else advance. I just want to be accepted. I mean, everybody's goal should be to get into heaven. So it's like, and yet nobody's perfect. Right. So I hope I do more good than I do bad. That they say, come on in, bro. You did good.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. That's inside the Lipton tea. Well done. And we learned a little bit about the fast food industry.
Yes.
Not too shabby.
I tell you, that job, that was the highest paying job I ever had in my life as a day job. It was like $45,000 a year, whatever it was.
Oh, but I bet it was so hectic. I can't even imagine.
I never had a job that literally when I woke up in the morning, I cursed God for letting me wake up. I hated putting my feet on the ground. I wanted nothing to do with it.
That's where the animosity for the alarm clock came.
Right. Exactly. I was like, and I'm Christian, and it's bad to say, but I cursed God for letting me wake up because I was like, I can't deal with these. Here's the thing. I deal in a not so great environment as far as the neighborhood. I deal in a not so great environment as far as the customers.
Right.
So I had crappy employees. I had crappy customers. And it was every day was just a struggle just to get things to go how they're supposed to go, let alone excel in any way.
Right. Exactly.
Or anything like that. It was hard. You understand, like if you run a restaurant, or a Taco Bell or any kind of fast food restaurant or even a regular restaurant, like say it's Joe Blow's Italian restaurant, and say you have 20 employees. That's 20 employees children, 20 employees, babies, daddies, or babies, mamas, that for whatever reason, whenever you're ready to start work, those things come into play of why you're understaffed, can't make things happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? I would come in every day and it's someone like, oh, I couldn't get a ride to work. Oh, my baby's daddy didn't pick the baby up, so I don't have no one to watch the kid. Or my baby's mama didn't pick the baby up, so I have no one to watch. And you're constantly, it's a juggling match, man. You got to be a magician.
Yeah, my sister is a manager at a Five Guys, and same deal. The struggle's real, man. And when you're dealing with people that are paid such a low rate,
right? You can't expect them to give you 100%. They're like, I'm doing this job simply because I can pay my rent and maybe my lights.
Exactly. You know? Oh man. Well, you guys. Coming up next, we're going to take a peek inside the JORDY files. But how about another song from Jason? What do you say?
Hey, man, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere until you kick me out. And I think you messed up by letting me know where you live.
Yeah, this isn't where we live. We just rent this for the space.
Yeah.
My house would never be this clean or have so much Golden Girls memorabilia around. It's my grandma's house, really.
Word. Man, I am at a wonderful thought process of what I want to play. Like I have no idea where I'm going with this, but
welcome to Every Day at a Brad Brock Show.
That is crap because I've been to many Brad Brock shows. My fiance and I look forward to Brad Brock shows. Like, it's so weird too. Like you do a lot of shows, bro, and I'm like actually envious of your calendar. And I look at it and I'm like, God. But then I think, oh, there's Sneaky Tiki. There we can get some killer nachos, some Code Rum, and then we can like hang out and just be like a couple and just chill.
Yeah.
Listen to some great music. So we honestly look forward to your Sneaky Tiki Code Rum shows.
Oh, great.
And that's like our getaway for a couple hours.
It's a great spot to get away, that's for sure.
So no cheap plug there, but I just want to throw that out there.
Oh, you better keep all your cheap plugs in order because that's coming up soon too.
All right. I didn't have a prepared song. Anything you want to hear? My sweet, beautiful woman sitting on the couch. No. All right. All right, I got one for you. I'm gonna go a little southern for you. Is that all right? Oh yeah. I guarantee you got comments coming in. People like southern, yeah, southern. Right. I'm not gonna do like Freebird because that's $100 request minimum. But if you got PayPal or like Cash App or whatever, I'm sure Brad will accept it if you want to do Freebird.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Gonna take a freight train down to the station, but I don't care where it goes. Gonna climb a mountain, Lord, the highest mountain. Jump off, ain't nobody gonna know. Can't see what that woman been doing to me. Can't see what that woman been doing to me. Gonna find me a hole in the wall. Gonna climb inside and down. Come on, lady, now. Me no woman love never told me goodbye. Can't see what that woman been doing to me. Can't see, oh, can't see what that woman been doing to me. Gonna buy a ticket now, as far as I can. I ain't ever coming back. I might take a northbound back up to Nashville, Tennessee, till the train run that trail. Can't see what that woman been doing to me. Can't see, oh, can't see what that woman love doing to me. Can't see what that woman been doing to me. Yeah.
Oh, that's a classic.
Yeah, man, you can't go wrong with that one. And if you're struggling for how many songs you have left, that's a good 10 minutes.
It is good. It's why Paul Robertson chimed in after you had given your
Freebird price.
yeah, your Freebird price. He's like $100. That's it.
Yeah, man.
Right?
C note, sucker.
Oh man. Well, you guys, let's get our weekly dose of on this day music history, some news, celebrity birthdays, and gossip inside the Jordy Files.
So sassy. Ooh,
TMZ. Woo.
You two are fun with the little background choreographing stuff
Word
you
up.
had going on.
Oh,
I need
Jordan,
you every week.
What you got going on for us this week?
Okay, so let's see. Manfred Mann turned 80 today. The South African musician and vocalist had massive hits such as Do a Diddy and his band's cover of Blinded by the Light.
Blinded by the light.
Perfect.
What is the next line?
Wrapped up like a douche.
Is it wrapped up like a douche? Because that's what I always thought
I
it
thought
said.
so too.
You know, it's
Is
funny.
that
Revved up like a deuce.
like a deuce?
Revved up like a douche.
Car.
Look at that. Look how your
Look at your
camera got
roller coaster.
frozen.
It's been
Yeah.
like that.
Dude, he's animated about it. It's like it's revved up like a deuce.
Revved up like a
But
douche.
Brad, honestly,
Deuce.
as
It's
musicians,
wrapped up.
as musicians, we've been singing "wrapped up like a douche" for as long as we can remember.
Oh my
yeah.
God, since
Yeah.
forever.
I've been
Absolutely.
singing it that way.
I watched an interview
Is it
with the
strawberry?
guy.
Is it strawberry fields or vinegar and water? That's all I want to know.
Oh my. And then Charlotte Caffey of the Go-Go's is 66 years old today. On last week's show, The Little Things did a cover of their song Our Lips Are Sealed. Also turning 66 today, birthday twins, is Eric Faulkner of the Bay City Rollers. Steve Lukather turned 62 today.
Ooh,
Oh.
monster guitar player.
Is he? Did I do it? Is that
Lukather's
Lukather?
correct.
Yes.
That is correct.
You nailed it.
I'm so good at not pronouncing things correctly. Okay. Turned 62 today. You may know his little song called Africa, which he recorded with his band Toto in 1983, the year of my birth. No, just kidding. As a
Mine.
guitarist. Oh, it's your birth year. Yas. As a guitarist, arranger, and record producer, he has recorded guitar tracks for more than 1,500 albums, including the guitar solo for Olivia Newton-John's hit Physical.
Wow.
Let's
Let's
Oh.
get physical.
There we go. That's,
Physical.
I thought someone would do it for sure. And Michael Jackson's Beat It, and was heavily involved in the recording of virtually all the Michael Jackson Thriller album. Was that you or
That was
Jason? That was
so
Jason.
me.
Oh.
That was so
I
me.
couldn't tell which direction it came from.
My daughter is stuck on hee, so we run that in the house all the time.
Is that the vocal warm-ups?
Yeah.
That was
Michael Jackson was like a trend, I guess, on TikTok. Like,
Oh.
so we do hee-hees everywhere.
Love the TikTok. Nick Oliveri, bassist of Queens of the Stone Age, turns 48 years old today. And then a few other celebrity birthdays. One, I guess we must mention, but no one really cares about. Kim Kardashian turns 40 today.
But how old is her booty? That's what I wanna
Probably half her age, maybe,
I was
right?
going to say 18,
Oh,
know. It's
okay.
like 18.
20 maybe.
Doja Cat turns 25 today. Country singer Kane Brown turns 27 today.
I get that.
And Carrie Fisher would have been 64 today. Judge Judy, my favorite, is 78 today.
Whoa, and
So
she's still rocking.
she
She's still on air.
Yeah,
She's
she
still
is.
on air.
She is living her best life.
only Judy can judge you.
Only Judy can judge you. And then,
She's just as fiery as she was 72 years ago, too.
yeah, maybe fiery or
Yeah,
fire. Salt.
she
I
gets
don't know.
better. She's like a fine whiskey or wine. She gets better with age.
Yeah, and scrappier.
Of course, the new shows with COVID, the COVID shows are very interesting. How they're trying to make how they're trying to make it look like they're all in the same room still.
Oh, I haven't had the pleasure to watch any of these. I'm gonna have to brush up. And then departures today. Tony Lewis, bassist and vocalist of pop band The Outfield, died suddenly and unexpectedly this week. The cause of death is still unknown. He was just 62 years old.
Oh no.
Yes. And then
That is sad.
That is. And then the funk drummer Harold Sargent passed away this week. His intro drum beat on the Skulls Snaps tune, It's a New Day, has become one of the most sampled beats in hip-hop. Hip-hop Anonymous. Hippity hops. And then Spencer Davis of the Spencer Davis Group passed away at 81 this week. The band had huge hits like Gimme Some Lovin' and Keep On Runnin'. And then for a few on this day facts, coincidentally, on this day in 1965, the Spencer Davis Group recorded Keep On Runnin'. So that's interesting. Yeah. And then in 1972, Chuck Berry started a 2-week run at #1 with My Ding-a-Ling.
Bazinga!
Hey now. My ding.
Is that how that goes? My Ding-a-Ling?
Oh, you never heard it? Yeah. My ding-a-ling. My ding-a-ling.
I'm only
I want you to play with my ding-a-ling.
What? Oh, I'm only familiar with the Mickey Avalon.
Brad, that's trippy.
New
We just
Age.
did harmony
That's
to
great.
My Ding-a-Ling.
That was great. Is
On
that
air.
I'll never tell.
was that actually the words, or did you guys? You're just so
No,
messed
that's
up.
how
You
the
had the
song
same
goes.
lyric.
No,
Okay, so
that's how
those
it goes.
are okay. Wow. All right. I
But it's possible because you don't have a ding-a-ling, you didn't learn this.
yeah, exactly. It's only a ding-a-ling song. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Also today in 1972, Curtis Mayfield went to #1 on the album charts with the soundtrack to Superfly.
Superfly. That was also a Name That Tune challenge. One of these. I think it was with Zaza when Zaza was on the show.
I would have known that one.
I didn't know that one.
I would have. I would have known it.
Derek would have known that.
That's
Right.
mine
Right.
all day long. I'm super fly.
Superfly.
Superfly. And then today in 1995, Green Day's Billy Joel Armstrong was arrested and fined. I found this hilarious. He was fined $41. I'm sorry, $141 for mooning his audience during a show in Milwaukee. It's like, really, just 141?
Well, he got off easy because I believe, if
yeah.
I'm not mistaken, Jim Morrison got like arrested in Miami for flashing his audience.
Yeah, well, he did the
that was
ding-a-ling.
in
He
the
did my
70s.
ding-a-ling.
But that was in like the
Ding-a-ling.
70s. Like
Yeah.
how was it like in Green Day times that was super arrestable offense? Like, I understand back in the
back then.
the Doors times, like that everybody was super conservative, and that was the big. Like, how is like a mooning like even a finable offense?
Must be
in-
some
in
sort
the
of
Green Day
indecent
age?
exposure.
And
Who
then
knows?
like $141, that's it. Like, you get more for going 50 in a
Right. I guarantee
School
the people
zone
that
or
went to that
something.
concert paid more than $141 for those tickets.
yeah.
probably true.
So crazy.
I just want to butt in here really quick.
Oh, sure,
so,
Brad. Like it's your show or something. That's fine.
Right. Is this not?
Jeannie Hernberg said Jordan's dad could be a ding-a-ling.
Oh, hi.
She's tuning in on the Brad Bragg music page.
Oh, perfect. And then, last but not least, on this day in 1997, Elton John's "Candle in the Wind," it was his tribute to the late Princess Diana, was declared the biggest selling sale record of all time by the Guinness Book of World Records with 31.8 million sales in less than 40 days. So
What
congrats.
was I had the if that was the tribute to Princess Diana, that was like that 97 version. Remember he did that Goodbye England's Rose.
Right. He redid it
Oh.
for somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Marilyn Monroe first.
Yeah, it was
and
the
then
Yeah.
original. I'm sorry, the Candle in the Wind 97.
Ah, that's not what is it?
Gotta do the ding.
Ding.
Perfect. And that concludes the JORDY Files.
Oh, Jody Files.
Jordy Files in the
Yay!
house.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
All right. Well, you guys, now has come to the time where we go around the room and we shamelessly plug all the things that we've got going on. So we're going to take turns telling you where we're going to be, what we got going on, and what we're trying to sell and hustle. So while we go through this, maybe Jordan can whip up some more shots. What?
Oh, I would love to.
But you know how much,
Everybody.
before you do that, you know how much I love it when you intro this, Jordan. What is this show? What is this segment called?
This is our shameless plugs.
All right. We'd like to kick off this segment by opening the floor to our very special guests. So, Jason, take it away, man. What do you have to shamelessly plug tonight? Where are you
Man,
gonna be?
I only got a couple things on my brain, but I got Rough Shot Live is going to be at Mickey's Tiki Bar, which is kind of like famous. It's kind of iconic. Mickey's Tiki Bar is in Pompano.
Oh, yeah. I have
Yeah.
heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and the owner, Alan Bromfield, has got a lot going on. He built a nice big stage in the back. He's really expanding the music capacity. Plus, again, Rough Shot is going to be there this Friday. We're starting at 8 o'clock. We got a lot of kids from the School of Rock. If you don't know what School of Rock's about, if you got a kid and he's got a guitar and he's just banging away, School of Rock has locations all over South Florida, Palm Beach, North Palm Beach area. So check it out. Like I said, we, Brad and you and I both know as Rough Shot alumni, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, we let the kids get up and jam, at our shows, and it's really been impressive. It's really motivating for me to keep going. It's nice to mentor in a way to the youngsters. So we got a handful of kids that are going to come up to this show. It's the bike night at Mickey T. And I myself, as Jason Ambrose, will be at Grumpy Gary's, which is in Hollywood, Florida. It's a
Nice.
little bit down the strip from that cliche, corporate
Los Olas.
Margaritaville.
Oh, Margaritaville.
That
I'm
bought
thinking of a different
that
spot.
bought the Hollywood Beach area over there.
Yeah.
We're a little bit further north or south actually, but I will be at Grumpy Gary's in Hollywood Beach on the 1st, November 1st, 2 to 6. So 8 to 12 at Mickey's Tiki Bar for Rough Shot. Jason Ambrose will be at Grumpy Gary's in Hollywood on the November 1st date from 2 to 6. And I will be at Brendan's in Pompano with Rough Shot November 7th, which I do believe is 9 to 1.
Nice.
And if you just want to hang out with me having a drink, just check Brad Brock's calendar and look for sneaky tiki dates on Sundays. And my ass and my fiance's ass will be there enjoying a big batch of nachos and some Code Rum.
Yeah.
Chilling.
Ding, ding. Awesome. Love it.
Because Brad Brock is the only entertainer on the Treasure Coast. I'm just a small fish in a big pond.
Oh, no. I'm certainly not the only one. I'm probably the grayest one here on the Treasure Coast. Maybe, possibly the shortest one.
Brad, I got to tell you, and things have come full circle, and I'm not saying that because I'm sitting in here in your podcast studio, but Jill's right there, and she'll tell you, it's come full circle. Like when you said with the Renegades, Brad Brock and the Renegades, where you used to watch Buck Wild, and your manager person at that time would take video and say, "Hey, you guys got to watch this. This is what you need to learn. This is what you need to aspire to do." I sit there and watch you on Sundays as a solo artist, and because solo's new to me. I'm a band guy, and my fiance and I says that's what we need to do. Brad Brock is the measuring stick for what solo guys should be. And I'm happy to say that because A, you're my friend, and B, you're somebody I respect professionally. So yeah, man, I don't go out and see anybody, but I just don't. I'd rather be home doing nothing.
I feel you sometimes.
And if I'm not home doing nothing, I look at my fiance and say, let's check where Brad is. And chances are he's at Sneaky Tiki on a Sunday, and it's Code Rum Day or whatever is going on.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go do that.
Well, I mean, honestly, I really do
awesome.
appreciate the support, and it is full circle. I certainly wouldn't have put in the amount of effort into being a better performer if it wasn't for my experience with Buck Wild. It's funny, Dave Major, who's my stepfather, actually is just chiming in here, and we were just talking about him. He comments, that be me.
Yeah.
So he's in here too,
and,
but he knows.
And here I am, and a lot of people don't know. Like, I've messaged Brad to all the listeners out there. I've worked. Here I am. I've been to the mountaintop and back down again. I had a record deal. I've toured. I've done everything I could do that musically possible would make anybody in music happy. Yet I've still hit Brad up and said, man, how do I do this? How do I do what you're doing? How do I? And it's humbling for me, but yet I won't go to anybody else. There's a ton of dudes doing what Brad's doing, but there's nobody doing it like Brad does it. And that's my point, is that Brad Brock is the epitome of the one-man band. He's the best at what he does. He's the best at this podcast, and I'm very grateful that you invited me as a guest.
Aww.
And I'm very grateful that you've taken your time away from focusing on yourself to assist me in what I need to do to break in on the Treasure Coast. So here's this shot. Cheers to you, brother.
Oh,
Aw.
No doubt.
well, cheers to you guys.
Thank you
Cheers,
for coming.
cheers, chin chin.
Cheers, cheers.
Cheers, folks.
And I really do appreciate that, Jason. And it's my privilege and it's my pleasure to take this time and get to sit with entertainers that I normally wouldn't get to sit with, and have conversation and get personal concerts from people, So where it is fun and I feel like I'm somewhat doing my part. It's also pretty self-serving to be able to sit and have conversations and
I feel the same way as a guest. I honestly do.
Oh.
It's self-serving. Like, the minute I knew you had a podcast, I was like, I would tell Jill, I was like, I hope he invites me one day. Like,
I remember talking to you about. I remember
Yeah.
talking to you about this. God, it was before COVID hit, so it had to be in like January or February even, and we were
Right.
talking about it originally, and I was like, oh yeah, definitely. There's so much to reminisce on. We could sit here and talk for hours about the South Florida music scene during
yeah, I mean
growing up.
that's a whole podcast by itself.
For sure.
Just like where it's come from, say the early '90s to 2020 is like,
Yeah,
I mean, like I said, we could go another 2 hours. About
You're
that
right.
alone. Easy.
it's wild. Oh man, I do appreciate you, and now that you're here, local with us, I hope to see you in more spots around town, and then I get to go and have a Sunday to sit and drink margaritas and listen to you play
With me.
with Jordan.
the Jordy.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Jordan, I just gotta say this on air. Jill is the biggest Hocus Pocus fan ever.
I just got
So your
this.
T-shirt is just. I know she's
Thank you.
salivating
Yeah,
over
like
your
that
T-shirt.
I know. I saw it and I was like, add to cart.
Sister.
Done.
Yeah, you guys are sisters instantly, right?
So fun. Derek, any shameless plugs today? Now that I got a camera working on you,
I really don't have anything except for go to JNC podcast and watch all the shows. If you've missed any, you've missed out. So check them all out,
Especially the one chip challenge.
especially the Pocky One Chip Challenge. I think because you did that when I wasn't here, there might have to be another one where we do it together.
well, maybe we'll do something similar. I don't know if I can. Ever
Not
do
the
that.
chip. We won't do the chip. We'll do
That chip was disgusting.
we'll do something with
we'll-
Carolina Reapers.
Okay, I'm in. Maybe we'll do like a pepper challenge or maybe like a wing
And
sauce challenge.
I hate hot stuff, but I do it because you did that for me.
All right, I'm in. I'm in. I
You
love,
and Jill are in the same boat because Jill doesn't like hot stuff.
No,
I
either.
love hot. Oh, that explains why that shot was such a
Shocker.
such a problem.
I'm a mild salsa
me
guy.
and
at
Alexis
best.
are the hot kings. Like
Oh, the spicy
Alexis
people.
will eat the hot stuff with me and will clown her mom all day long about why she can't eat hot stuff.
Too fun.
Nice.
Any shameless plugs over there, Jordan?
No, sir.
No. All right.
What about JORDY News? I really think it was better than TMZ.
Yes. Thank
Yes.
you.
I'm
That's what we're
only
going
coming
for.
to-
Give it up for Jordy.
I'm only coming
Jordy
to the
Five.
Brad Brock podcast for my news from now on.
It's all the news you need.
And
Thank
there
you.
were
Thank you.
no stumbling on words.
Yeah, there was no
today.
snafus.
I was impressed.
I acted pretty confident.
You're amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. I read it over a few times. Yeah. Gave it a twice over, 3 times over.
Thrice.
Who
Thrice
pronunciated
over.
the words for you? Huh? Who pronunciated the words for you at first?
Oh, I did go on Google.
Google pronunciate.
Google
Yes.
Translate.
It had the little hyphens in there, how to phonetically sound them out.
Look it up in the dictionary.
Yeah.
Well, then it comes
Thank you, Derek.
to me.
Love you, Jordan.
My shameless plugs. As always, I like to kick off my shameless plugs with thanking all of you so much for tuning in live or joining us later on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform. Again, please give us a like, share, follow, and subscribe on YouTube. If you are tuning into the rerun, we'd like to invite you to join us in one of our live shows. We run them every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern on Facebook Live and YouTube. And you can find those links in the description of wherever you're watching or listening to this or at jncpodcast.com. I'd like to send a massive shout out to our sponsors at Code Rum.
Code Rum.
Code Rum. Sponsors of our shots tonight there. The Code Rum Tiki Torch, which is actually really nice. You guys should check that out. That is Code Rum. Code Red. There's cinnamon rum, Malibu, and pineapple juice. Very easy.
Phenomenal.
Very
And it's
easy.
delicious.
And it
Brad,
becomes a
what'd you
drink
call it
very
though?
good.
It might need to be renamed. What'd you call it?
The Code Rum Tiki Torch.
Yeah, but you called it something. It was something Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
what'd you
It's
say,
like an
Tim?
island Christmas.
Island Christmas has got such a good ring to
That
it.
is nice.
does.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
comforting.
All right.
It might be a chameleon. It might have two names at this point.
Ooh.
Yeah, seasonal, of course.
Oh, yeah. What time of year you're drinking
Right.
it.
Also, give a massive shout out to Hop Life Brewing. Great
Life.
supporters of all what we do. Treasure Coast Entertainment, Jeff Farashedian, for helping fill our entertainment calendar throughout the year. The Sneaky Tiki in downtown Stewart. We talked at length about them tonight. So, Sneaky Tiki. We love you guys out there.
sneaky tikis.
And
We
I
do.
would be remiss if I didn't send a shout out to Brad Brock Music LLC for being our largest, most lucrative sponsor in this whole endeavor. So thank you,
Brad Brock music, y'all.
What a shameless plug that is.
Hey man, shameless plugs.
Plugs.
Bippity boppity boo.
But yeah, so thank all of you for helping us keep the gears turning here. If you are interested in becoming a sponsor of the show or one of our segments, slide into my DMs and we'll chat. Slide into that DM. Slide into them.
Just slide.
I do.
Slide becoming the new moist.
Maybe.
Ooh.
I think we're making
Is it like
that
creepy
way.
when you say slide?
Maybe if you do it with a lisp. Slide.
No, you know I hate that.
Slide. I know you love the lisp.
Slide.
Well, you guys,
Brad, you're so amazing. There's something wrong with Jack Jack.
oh, that's where that comes from. Funny. I do have a few one-man band shows coming up this weekend. You can check me out.
One man band.
One man burn. I will be tomorrow. I will be at Manatee Island in Fort Pierce at 5:30 p.m. On Friday, I'll be at Hurricane Grill in Palm City at 6. Saturday, you can catch me at Costa de Este Beach Resort in Vero Beach. And rounding out my work week, Tuesday, I'll be at Blue Point Bar and Grill at 3:30 p.m., which is early on a Tuesday, but God love them for having music all day long, every day of the week, which is
Wow.
awesome. So you could choose any of those days.
And then we'll
to-
be turning it up for Jen's birthday
We'll be turning it up for Jen's
on
birthday.
Tuesday at the Rocco Taco.
But
Oh,
if
lay.
none of those dates work for you, check out bradbrock.com
Yes.
and pick and choose when you want to show
Or
up.
are you ready for this? If you don't want to go to bradbrock.com, you can catch all my show dates and so much more on the Brad Brock music app. It is free. It is free from your
You got
favorite
an
app
app?
store. I do. And you can find all my
He's
shows on there.
fancy.
You could watch this podcast or listen to this podcast. We are also starting to feature some other local content, some other local podcasts on the app as well. So you can get your local fix here on the Treasure Coast from the app. You can buy merch and request songs right from the app, and it comes to me on my iPad where I'm sitting on stage. Cool stuff there on the Brad Brock Music app. It's free. Get it. I'd also like to send a special thank you out to DJ Bobby Laredo, the governor of country music.
The governor.
For helping me prepare for tonight's show, getting me, because let me tell you, when I had to dig for that record, it's nowhere online.
No,
And,
because it was before online.
it was. So I was racking my brain trying to find any tracks off of it, and I was like, you know who would have this? Bobby Laredo. So I hit him up, and yes, he
Bobby's
sent me the tracks.
the best, like the best guy ever, man.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
So good.
Nice.
So good.
I've not worked with too many DJs that were more awesome than Bobby.
Yeah, he definitely nurtured me through
Well, he just
playing at
loves
clubs.
local music.
Yeah.
You know, he loves country music. He really does. He loves country music, and he loves the local level guys. And he always gave us a shot. You know, there's not a lot of bars, honestly, club DJs or even radio DJs, but club DJs even that would play local music. They were
Right.
like, "Oh no, it's not on the radio. It's not in my hit list that I get from whatever program tells them what they're supposed to play.
Exactly.
I'm not playing it." But Bobby was a kind of a rebel, and he would play. You know, if he loved your stuff, Brad, he would play it. If he loved my stuff, he would play it.
Oh, he does, and it's funny. I still send him music from time to time, and he'll do like a video and send me a clip of him playing it at the clubs that he's working at. But yeah, Bobby was amazing. I mean, I used to sit with Bobby, and he would go through my song list and he'd give me all the dances that the dancers would do to the songs, and he'd be like, this is the order that they like. I know what they do. So we would like set our set lists up to appease the dancers. And that was, with Bobby's help, it was unbelievable. So, big shout out.
I want to give you the whole premise, because when you were like following Buck Wild and when we were doing our thing, Buck Wild was very in tune with the DJs and the line dance instructors and things like that. We had like a little network going.
Right.
And my drummer, Mark Kirkendall at the time, used a metronome.
Yeah.
So
Super important for those
Not
guys.
only did we know what songs were going to be the line dance hit songs ahead of time, because that we got it from the DJs or whoever was organizing the line dance classes, but we also learned the beats per minute so that they would be exactly the same as the way they learned them in the dance classes.
Right.
So, which is, again, little tiny things that gave us kind of an edge that, again, are irrelevant now because nobody does that kind of
I
stuff
know.
anymore.
It's such a
But back in
nostalgic
those-
thing.
But back
to
in
think
those
about.
days, it was like we were ahead of the time. You know?
Yep. I remember I would put drummer Dan on with we had him on a metronome for a little bit. We played many shows with Robert Hill.
Yeah, Robert Hill's a
from
great
Stormwriter, and he
God
always
rest
played
his
with
soul.
the.
I know he passed away. But
It's fun that Cowboy Bills gig that I did down
Yeah.
at Key West. He was our drummer for that, and that was just a wild time down there.
right.
Unbelievable. Jennifer said, "What band?" She tuned in late. She said, "What band did Jason play?" And that was Buck Wild back in the day when I had met him. But also, Rough Shot is the band that he performs in now. Let's see. Let's look at it. The rest of the comments.
Oh, I have a shameless plug.
Oh, plug away. You have a shameless plug.
Too late. Oh, so just for all of you cool cats and kittens, next
Cool cats
week,
and kittens.
and puppies and dogs, we are having our spooktacular Halloween episode next Wednesday, which will be a hoot and a half. See, it's already starting. So be sure you set your alarms. Tune in. You'll get to see some good stuff.
You took
8 p.m. Wednesday.
You took my plug.
Oh, were you going to talk about
No, but we will talk about it.
Oh. Okay, back
well,
to
since
you,
we're-
Brad Brock.
Since we're there, we will talk about it. Yeah, next Wednesday is our first annual Jams and Cocktails Halloween special. So we are transforming the JNC Lounge into a haunted house.
Basically, the Addams Family house.
Yep.
Mansion.
So it will be super spooky. We have some really cool things. And in fact, Dave Major, who's tuning in, is,
Shout out to Dave.
Yeah,
You're
has
the real
offered
one.
up some really cool decorations and things that he had made over the years for Halloween. So we're very stoked to pillage through that and pick out some fun stuff.
Put it to
But
good
we're very
use.
excited. We'll be in costume and we got some fun stuff in store for you all next week on the show. So be sure to tune in for a spooky time next week.
We might even do the Monster Mash.
Oh my God! Can we
No, we
choreograph
probably
that?
won't, but maybe we will.
He did the mash.
Twas the monster mash.
The monster mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
He did
Oh.
the mash.
The monster mash.
This is the only indications that me and Brad have played way too many Halloween venues.
Yeah, right.
No joke. No joke.
Oh, yeah, you guys were on key.
Well, you guys, we are winding down here. I do want to thank you all again for the support. We certainly hope you enjoyed the show this evening and that you can join us next week here on the Jams and Cocktails podcast for our Halloween spooktacular.
Oh, that wasn't good.
It was still hilarious.
Okay. Yeah. It's there forever now.
Oh, so yes, please tune into that. Be sure to catch Jason performing around town.
Whoop, whoop. Yay, Jason.
You will not be disappointed.
And I can say likewise for the one, the only, the incomparable Mr. Brad Brock.
And the crowd
I'll
goes
take it.
wild.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Oh, there we go, Jordan. Just for you.
I was waiting for him to play the crickets.
Oh, I forgot I had that.
I'm just waiting for Brad to get, because Brad is a marketing genius. I've been on bradbrock.com. I've checked out the jamsandcocktails.com. Brad has a .com for just about everything. I am
And an
so
app for that.
I'm so waiting for the OnlyFans Brad Brock.
Well, get your pocketbook out. I'm showing off
I
everything
don't pay
below
for
my
any
knees.
content, but I want OnlyFans Brad Brock.
Well, we'll see. The times are tough, so we'll see. Some way to fund this show. Oh man! But yes, again, next week on our show it is our Halloween special. So tune in for some spooky fun next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Until then, my friends, listen to music, support local, drink some water before bed. Trust me on that one. And take care of each other. We love you guys. Thank you all so much for being here in the studio tonight. Good night.
Drive safe.
God bless.
Putting on my walk shoes, ain't nothing you can do. No way to change how I feel. Gave all I had and tried. Got sick of fighting, turning this mountain to an old